I'm trying to adjust for that. I don't want that to happen more.
See, but now it's part of the story.
Oh my god, it felt cool. It's all just a button push. Alright, so boop. Twitter's been notified. Oh, it's so cool. I love this thing. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, it's on Curse of Strahd, so let's fix that. Let's flip it to tail. Boop! There it is! Oh, it's so good!
I don't have to do all this work.
I mean, it's like, I absolutely can, but it's hilarious because I don't need to. It just, I have it set so that I can flip the different things. I have all the, like, chat macros keyed in. I have like I said, the Twitter notification is set. Turning on the actual stream and the recording is all a button press now. And it's like, oh, this is pretty good. Wow. Nice job there, Max. That lined up so well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, has everybody been since we haven't been able to play really since last Monday? We haven't played anything together. Except for Resident Evil.
Now that I'm Max, I don't know how I've been. It's very difficult.
I've played some things with Frost, but otherwise I've been solely going stir crazy.
Well, now you don't need to
Hey,
worry.
we've all been doing stuff.
It took like 7 resets, but we started doing this stuff.
Yeah. Tell me about that. How did that all go with you guys setting it up? You guys sounded pretty hyped about it over the weekend.
Once we got like the mods to finally load after like 8 hours, everything was great.
Everything was awesome. Everything was awesome.
And it was very entertaining watching Morph punt enemies into the Shadow Realm with sheer damage numbers.
Nice.
So the thing we
They're
started
like,
to
I've
do.
got 8 health, and he goes crit 48. Like Jesus.
So the
Oh
thing
my
that
god, the stream announcement kicked off right away too. That is impressive.
We'll have the
Yeah.
80s outfit that's got going too.
So the thing they decided to do was that, like, Rez wanted to be a Lich, Corey wanted to be the Dark Ranger, Frost went skeletal vampire somehow, and they're all just... I'm sitting here with this party of undead, and they're like, oh, you're gonna be our token human, aren't you? And I'm just laughing maniacally in the background. They're like, why is he laughing? I'm morph into a werewolf and just start eating things.
Mm.
Yeah, we've combined forces, the evil alliance.
Let's be straight, Morph. What you turned into is not a werewolf. That
It
is
is a Divinity Original Sin werewolf, which
No,
is
that
an
is a-
amalgam of wolves.
There's some kind of furry abomination from the pits of hell that, like, his arms are bigger than most, like, other creatures.
It has like 6 wolf heads on its face.
Uh-huh.
Dual Cerberus action.
Again, that's not
With
a werewolf.
Popeye, with Popeye arms and everything. It's hilarious.
It's just an eldritch horror wolf.
Oh, but he still holds the melee weapon, so at one point Morph had a pickaxe, and it's this little itty-bitty pickaxe and this giant wolf body.
Giant wolf job.
If that's what a wolf job is, I don't want one ever.
I mean, just
Come here, boy.
ask Game Grumps. They'll tell you what a wolf job is. And I really don't want anything to do with it.
Come here, boy. Werewolf job.
No.
We're
no,
live,
no.
by the way.
We are.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Werewolf Job. Tales from
It's good times. All right, so
I regret nothing.
is that any other fun news to share? I know Shay's been unconscious for 4 days with her.
Glad you're feeling better, Ren.
Oh, I didn't actually get sick. I was just worried that I might get sick just because of the weather. You know, it's like if the weather goes bad, then all of a sudden, oh no! Because I had a fun weekend. It was great. It was great being out there and in the cold and stuff. So inside werewolf job. Haha, nice. Delete. But yeah, it was great. Like, because it dropped down to maybe like in the 40s at night, and it was like 50s, 60s during the day, and it was a constant wonderful breeze. And then I come back home here in Phoenix, and it's been low 80s, high 70s, during the day. So it's like, it's nice that it's one of these, like, it's not going to stop being 100 until November type seasons. So it's nice that it's going to actually be cold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was able to actually like have the window open and have cold air come in without needing the AC. It was a wonderful feeling. So, with that being said, all right, well, let's get started. Who wants to give a bit of a recap of what we went over last time?
Not it.
We introduced the cast, and then Olwen had a bad dream.
Thanks, Morv.
You're welcome.
Uh,
Say one of the
a bit more detail. We introduced
Move that
everybody.
over.
We had a very normal day at school, though right after that, we got accosted by some bullies.
I wouldn't call it normal. I took the fall for you guys.
You didn't take any fall. You, like, dove on a live hand grenade and says, I'm covering you all.
You all when it was just me.
Yep.
Covering for
Well-
y'all.
Alright. I'm not helping anyone then.
Just how grateful they really are.
I know, like a little appreciation. Wow.
Well, Hayden feels bad. Hayden feels terrible. We didn't get accosted by them. We accosted them.
You did beat
No,
up Max.
they were acting uppity, and I handled
They
it.
were totally.
They were attacking.
They were
birds,
attacking
not
birds,
us.
and you ran in and hit them.
Exactly, I handled it.
Since
Totally their fault.
you're the one who's accosting them.
That's how accosting works.
It's true. You were the instigator.
Why are you
but
defending
it's
the
fine.
bullies? Stop it.
We're,
I'm
like, we're
giving
not.
a
We're making you
factual.
own up for what you did.
Yeah, I'm making a factual thing about what happened. Is what I'm doing.
I think nobody's saying you were wrong for attacking them.
No, you were
but
perfectly in the right, but we definitely were not.
We just
They
need
were
to get
the-
the facts straight.
We were the aggressors in that situation.
Aaron, remind
You
me
need
not
the
to
saviors.
cover for anyone else's this round.
Alrighty, that sounds good.
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Only protect Olwen, because she is a cinnamon bun.
Okay.
So yeah, we went to school. Owen had a bad dream, and her mom wasn't home, so she drew a depressing picture. And then we went home after everybody else in class, in the higher class, got into a spot of bother with their history social studies teacher. And then Ashley bravely saved everybody from getting in trouble, and then the bell rang, and then everybody took off running. Because that's
Thank
what
you,
you do.
Olwen.
And then, when we were going home, there were some bullies throwing rocks at birds. And then Jason ran up and hit them. And then a small fight broke out. I say small fight because it didn't last very long.
As they
And then
do.
we went to the tree fort, and then we hung out, and then we all went home, and everybody had a nice dinner, except Olwen.
Still have the three board.
And then Olwen went to bed, and then she had a bad dream wherein two people went out to Makeout Point near the lake because Massachusetts doesn't have that many mountains. And when they were getting a little frisky, they heard a twig snap, and then something happened, and then we cut to a scene of the boy's head kind of sinking into the water, which is now covered in blood and just full of blood everywhere. And then we snap cut to Olwen waking up with a start because she had a nightmare where a boy was drowning.
Yes, exactly. All right, and so Excellent recap. Which brings us around to the next part of our wonderful story. Hello, everyone. Of course, I will introduce myself, and then our characters will introduce who they are playing. I am, of course, Rindis the Dungeon Master, and your host for the evening of this game, Tales from the Loop, Tricks and Treats. This is, of course, our Halloween special event that we'll be running every Monday until the end of the month, in which case Forest for the Trees will return, so stick around if you guys want to get back into some traditional Dungeons & Dragons afterwards. As always, on Mondays, I have these lovely people here who are playing the characters of the games, and so, characters, of course, introduce yourselves now for me.
Hello, I'm Morph, and I'm playing Hayden the Tomboy.
Hayden, the tomboy.
Hayden looks like they're 7.
Just
She is very, very not.
not okay with puberty yet.
She has a complex, okay?
She kicked puberty's ass back behind the shed.
Hi, I'm Corey. I'm playing Jason, the local troublemaker.
I am Jay. I have laryngitis, so sorry for the raspy voice. I am playing Ashley.
Okay, you
She's
do not
playing
sound like you're going
Ashley.
to last very
Oh
long
my
into
God,
this.
just-
Just
It really
K1,
doesn't.
It's
Um,
easier on the throat.
So basically, when you get to a point where you don't think you can play anymore, just let me know, and we'll put Ashley on the sideline.
She'll suddenly get laryngitis and have to run off.
I had half a mind to just say she got sick in game. It explains why she's not talking as much.
Been out, snuck out to a rock concert or something.
Yeah. Burned her voice out.
She was doing screamo. I don't even think that's a musical genre at this point.
It is
She
now.
was doing Mongolian throat screaming.
Oh, my bad. Hi, I'm Rez. I am playing Olwen Crowley, an 11-year-old. Just the saddest thing that you'll ever see. Just life is constantly putting the poor thing down.
Saddest sin of fun.
But she's always so happy around her friends most of the time, so it makes up for it a little bit.
She must be protected at all costs.
At all costs.
You know,
And apparently she's psychic because she's having crazy dreams.
crazy dreams with
Are we in
heads
Maine?
and legs.
No, you're not in Maine.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be-
would have rolled
that'd be
into
too-
a sewer then.
That'd be too convenient.
Come on down into the sewer, Olwen. I got balloons. No, I think I'm good. Bye.
Mom says I can't talk to weird clowns in sewers. Bye.
But your friends are all down here. Like, ah, damn it. Okay.
You just see her climbing into the sewers.
I guess if I have to.
Plot twist: the clown was the good guy all along.
Oh no.
Just trying to save us all.
Frost, go.
All right, nerd.
Yeah, you're up, nerd.
And I'm Frost playing William Buxley Jr., the resident computer geek and technophile, what do you call it?
Sure.
Whose family's on computer number 2 because he totally tore apart the first one.
Nice. All right. So that is everybody. We are properly introduced. I will, of course, go over a bit of details. Keep in mind that we are in an alternate 1980s era, so the things you may know about the 80s may not necessarily be true. This is as if the world had split off at a certain point, which was, of course, the construction and discovery of the Hadron Colliders after World War II, and it caused a nice technological boom that differs this world from ours. We are, of course, taking part in the American side of the Twin Hadron Colliders, the other one being located in Sweden, but that may never actually come up or matter for you guys, because we don't have a whole lot of time to explore into the cool, crazy stuff that is that. I will, of course...
No Fermilab.
Yeah. I will, of course, go over again the principles of the loop, which are... Your hometown is full of strange and fantastic things, which means these technological things are extraordinary, but fairly commonplace. You may not own a hover car yourself, but it is not unusual to see one. Same with robots. You guys, you have the alternate history knowledge of, things being normal to see, a couple of weird things. You see a dinosaur walking down the road. That's not normal, but, you got to kind of play it with the common sense. Everyday life is dull and unforgiving. Remember that you are just kids living in a suburban area, so you still will have to think about and act as if you are a 10 to 15-year-old living in this alternate world. It is dull, it is boring, and you still have homework to do. Number 3, the adults are out of reach and out of touch. Remember that this is a story about you, the kids, the Goonies, the Breakfast Club, the Teen Wolves, and the Riverdale whatevers. Your job is the heroes. You can't rely on the adults to handle your problems because they don't see the things that you're seeing. Number 4, the land of the loop is dangerous, but kids with a capital K will not die. You can be hurt, you can be traumatized, you can get in a buttload of trouble, you can be grounded until you're 18, but nothing bad will ever happen to you, the capital K kids. Everyone else is fair game. Number 5, the game is played scene by scene. We're treating this like it's a movie / TV show / old 80s flick. So, the nitty-gritty of the in-between doesn't matter. So once we accomplish what we need to do, then we move on. And of course, that leads us to number 6. The world is described collaboratively. That means we work together as a group to try and describe what the scenes look like, who's involved, and how things go. Everything's pretty much decided by a single dice roll. You only need one success in order to accomplish whatever you're going after. So it largely falls upon the players to have an idea of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and it's my job as the DM, once the dice are cast, to describe the outcome. Of course, as always with the games like this, I, the DM, have the final say on how something goes. And, it's just that kind of back and forth that we do to keep this moving along for everybody. Which brings me to the next thing. I was doing a lot of reading of this over the weekend, and I found something that we didn't really go over the first episode. No. Nothing messed up. Something interesting that we didn't really cover, and I'm trying to find it now. Basically, there's when you roll really, really well, there's a thing where it's like you buy in... buying effects. Here we go. If you roll more successes than you need, leftover successes can sometimes be used to buy beneficial bonus effects. Such effects are described for each skill. The same effect can be bought several times. The Game Master decides which effects, if any, are suitable in any given situation. If there isn't any risk of collateral damage, you can't choose. You avoid any collateral damage. You shouldn't need to buy effects to achieve what you set out to do. There are a means of getting more than you asked for. So basically, the way this works is normal everyday trouble rolls will only need one success. Really hard things will need 2. Nearly impossible things will need 3. So when you guys roll, if you get more than one success, you can go down to the skill page, and it tells you what each examples of what each bonus effect is. So for the force body, if when you guys had accosted the 2 bullies, if Jason had rolled for successes. You could have bought in, you could have humiliated them. And, I think we largely still did this because, you went from, you beating up the bullies to kicking the kid square in the balls and, embarrassing him enough because he got nut-shotted.
He did 3 success that.
Yeah, so, we still did it, but we didn't really address doing this buying into the points. So you guys now know that you have this option and it's a thing, and basically you can use it to, as it says, make the things better, or you can hold on to them for other things.
Well, I'm going to bring up the skills tab, so I have that open in
Yeah.
case this happens
Yeah,
again.
You guys should have that open so you know what's available to you. Sorry, my throat was getting incredibly dry talking there for a moment. It's weird. My throat doesn't really dry out during Forest for the Trees, but this game, I have significantly less work to do, but it makes my mouth dry out really quickly.
Blame the weather.
Sure. It's the fucking weather's fault.
Skills. There.
Hi, Grumpy Bat. How you doing? We're just getting started. We were going over just the bits and pieces of the game, but now it's time for us to get rolling. So, it is now October 25th, 2 days after our first episode. This is, of course, that puts it at Wednesday. As I said, October 25th. You've all woken up, gone through your normal daily routines, and have made your way into school. The camera... Sorry?
Okay, never mind, sorry.
Okay. The camera zooms in through the window outside on the older classman's classroom. Mr. Figueroa, who is once again regaling you all with a wonderful story of not necessarily the Vietnam War this time, but he's probably going over a lesson of the Korean War or something. And you guys kind of get this weird, every lesson seems to be about some great battle or some war going on. You never really go into any of the other history stuff with him, even though it's a world history class. It's kind of weird, but it's just the way that this school curriculum seems to have him going. And as he's going over this lecture, there's a sudden, "May I have your attention, please?" And the same announcement goes off in Olwen's classroom as well. This is your principal speaking. This is Principal Mayers. I just wanted to address the school. There was an incident 2 nights ago where one of our classmen two of our classmen have disappeared. I want to assure everyone that there is an investigation underway, and your parents have all been notified of the dangers. I ask that nobody travel outside of the town for the remainder of the holiday season or until the investigation is completed. Your safety is of the utmost importance to us, and we don't want anyone else going missing. Please refrain from going into the forest or being around the lake area. For the foreseeable future, curfews will be in effect after sundown. That is all. This was Principal Mayers. Have a nice day. And as the intercom cuts out, your classroom is abuzz with discussion. People all seem to have an idea of, who might be missing. A couple people haven't showed up for school today for various reasons. Even Ashley's a bit under the weather and had to take yesterday off to recover, after she had snuck out to a rock concert without telling anybody and managed to get herself sick. But today she, wasn't able to continue playing off this injury and had to come in. So people, crossed her name off the list of one of these potential missing people. But everybody seems to be talking about who might be missing and what might have happened to these two down at the lake, and why the whole forest is now considered off limits. Which is where you guys come in.
Jason isn't saying anything. He's just sort of looking around.
William's got his arms crossed over his chest, very pouty, like, oh, Corey, there goes, like, the only cool place I get to hang out at.
I'd like to kind of join in some of the gossip and see if I hear anything about like who it might be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so Ashley, you're considered one of the cooler kids, being a great rocker as you are. So you kind of lean over and you listen. The more popular girls are gossiping right now, and they're like, I can't believe Becky and Brad haven't made it in today. They did talk about going over to Makeout Point on Monday. I don't think it's them. Could it be them? And another one's like, well, Jimmy is also not here today. What if he was the one who is missing? Like, we don't know really what Becky's been doing with her free time. She's not here. And they're just kind of going over a couple names, and of your class, there's probably like 3 or 4 people who haven't shown up, and only it's very rare for anyone to know that someone called out sick, so something like that might take a little more investigation. But so they basically said, I already forgot the names I said.
Or Becky and Brad a thing?
Becky, Brad. What were the other names I said? Becky, Brad,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, and then Becky again.
And Becky again. That slut. And we'll say Jimmy and
Jenna.
No, it's gotta.
I like the alliteration.
I know, right? I noticed that too as I was going. Jimmy and we'll say Sally.
Dean.
Jimmy and Dean. Oh, the scandal. Jimmy and Dean aren't here either. Maybe Brad, Jimmy, and Dean were giving her the sausage. Wow, this is where you take us.
We are 13.
I'm 11.
Yeah.
The oldest
in
of
our
us are
class.
13.
You aren't in this class, but you're helping make it worse.
Helping make the bacon, and now I'm going to see myself out.
Okay, so you were looking to get some more information about who might be with whom.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a charm roll real quick. See if these girls want to bring you in on the gossip a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me flip this over so we can see. 0 successes. Okay, so you didn't succeed. You do of course have your
you
lucks.
can luck or you can push.
Pushing is if you don't have any more, or if you really want to take that condition without burning it. Pushing should be a last resort.
Okay, then you have luck.
Yeah, it's like luck is a renewable resource in this game, so it's like usually you should burn the luck first.
Speaking of which, if we burned any luck last time, our luck should be back.
Yes. I'm treating this very laissez-faire since we're only doing a limited number of sessions, so
Oh gosh.
I definitely wouldn't spend more than one on the reroll.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
No. Okay. So, what do you say to these girls to try and get them to open up to you?
I start to say something and then I cough a bit and turn it away.
And you're like, I heard about Becky and Brad and Jimmy and Dean. Is she really dating like? And you just start coughing, and the girls just kind of like look revulsed that you're just coughing in their general direction. Maybe you didn't cover your mouth, but they
Oh, I absolutely cover my mouth.
they didn't look like they appreciated being coughed in their general direction, and they make that like ugh. And they all kind of like, oh, why do you care? You weren't friends with Becky, Brad, Jimmy, or Dean. And it's like, go
How
back
do
to
you know?
And they size you up again, and they give the ugh, we know, honey, please. And they like turn back to what they're doing, shutting you out of the conversation.
Were any of those boys involved in the sports teams?
Jimmy was.
Could I get some information out of the jocks, see if they're like a little friendly with Hayden?
Absolutely. You can also give me a charm. And try and tell me how you approach the jocks before you roll it.
Well, if she's actually in good with them, just from days before, previous school years,
Mm-hmm.
and her just general roughhousing and actually still playing sports with them, she would probably notice Jimmy not being around, and it's like, so what have you guys heard exactly? Like, why is Jimmy not around and all the other people? 2. I only need the 1, so... There's nothing really to buy here.
Okay.
It's like,
You
formed a lasting relation.
yeah, you talk to the captain of the football team. He's a burly lad named Sam, and he's very receptive to you coming to him asking about it. And maybe it's because Sam's known you for a while, or maybe Sam might like having a girl on the team. Who knows? But he seems to be especially nice to you today, and he's as you're asking the question. Remind me what you had asked.
I was just asking, like, if anyone knew why Jimmy wasn't around, or if
Oh,
it had anything to do with what was going on with the announcements and the other people missing.
he's the kind of boy that looks like he started puberty a little early. He's got like the wiry mustache that's growing in. His voice is deepened a little, and he's like, yeah, Jimmy, he called out. He called out sick. He's not making it to practice either. His folks called and said that he wasn't feeling well. It's gonna be fine. We're still gonna be able to, keep up practice. He's just a tight end. He's not, that important. He's just on defense. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess flu season is starting. I guess it has nothing to do with what was going on. They don't want us to go into the woods or whatever.
Fucking flu season.
Yeah.
It just cost us every single tight end viewer that we had.
Oh no, they all bailed out. No, sports ball.
Football.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, flu season. It sucks. We'll have to crush them like we crushed the Gators. And he like makes like the football like noise at you. He's very enthusiastic about football. Yeah. He's like, no, I don't know anything about that. Last I heard, Becky was, dating Brad, but she was also seeing Dean on the side. So there may be something there about why either of them's gone, but I wouldn't know why she would be hanging around with Dean. Dean's a fucking nerd.
Just like that William Buxley bitch.
Like that Buxley, and you see him throw a paper football at Buxley.
Hell, come on.
That's not.
Can I catch?
Not
He
very
doesn't-
nice.
He doesn't throw the football.
Well, he's probably just gonna be like, swap. Ah, my eye.
I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know. Nerds are nerds. It's just kind of how it is. We've got these stereotypes to keep. You know, we can't we're not in a time or sensibility where we subvert expectations. We have to embrace them and crush anyone who's
So
different.
meta.
He's self-aware.
They know. Abort the simulation.
This ogre
And
from
like
Revenge of
the
Nerds.
entire time this is going on, Hayden just has her balled up fist against her hip, just staring at him.
What? You're not subverting any expectations. We expect to have at least one Tom girl in the school. You fit the
It's the
quota
80s.
nicely. This is the 80s, you see.
Oh my god, he's so meta. Please make him a side character.
I mean, he is a psych.
He is a side
No, I mean
character.
like he sticks around for a while.
He could.
Or he's gonna die.
Or he's gonna
He's
die.
He could die at the end of
We
it.
all know that the mean girls get it first. Well, actually, they're second, but the first people already got it.
That's true.
What? No, the token black character hasn't died yet.
Rude.
Hey,
they have-
whoa!
they
Hold on,
don't
you don't
usually-
know. You don't know if Dean was black.
Yeah, that's
They
also
don't
true.
usually, it's like token black guys usually, or black characters usually don't die first, but they always end up dead with the exception of very few horror movies.
Yeah, them dying first was a '90s thing.
Also true.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes, back on track here. So yeah,
Also, Jane,
he
we're totally getting it on.
he confirms to you that the dean was a nerd, and you know he might have been dating Becky, but Jimmy called out sick, so he's safely off the list of potential things to be worried about.
Okay.
So it was Jimmy, Dean, Becky, and who else?
And
Brad.
Becky and Brad were rumored to go to make out point, and then Jimmy
Becky and Brad are dating, but it's also suspected that Dean the nerd might also be seeing Becky.
There's also a Sally in there somewhere, but whatever.
There is also a Sally in there somewhere. We don't.
As few words as possible, Shay.
Teen romances. Pickle.
Everybody dated everybody. So is anybody else doing anything about this information?
Well, it's not my scene, so.
No, it's not.
For the problem with being the kid that always gets in trouble with the teachers, I bet no one, and also gets in a lot of fights, I feel like no one would really want to talk with Jason, and or might even be afraid of him.
It's
So
true.
intimidate them.
But see,
Eh,
that's
he
where
doesn't-
resident teacher's pet William Buxley Jr. comes in.
But he doesn't want to intimidate people. It's just sort of like,
You know who I bet you get along with? I bet you get along with the guidance counselor.
you know what, I probably do.
Guidance counselors are always like the coolest people.
Like, they're just, you constantly get sent there because you're causing trouble, but they know the real you. And they're always so disappointed every time they see you in, but they still make you that cup of tea or something.
Little
and
too
sit you
true
down.
there, Morph. Little too true. You're hitting a little too close to home for me, bud.
It's like, you know, you're probably right.
Quick, Buxley, Dean's a nerd. Where are the rest of the nerds? Nerd pals, go. See if they know anything.
William would probably be differing with other, nerds to find out if any of the bullies that they all seem to get picked on by together are not are part of that group of people not there.
Okay, so you're inquiring with the nerd crowd.
Yeah, trying to find out if it's been a far less wedgie-filled time.
Okay, so you can attempt a charm roll, then try and get some information for me.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Is there a way I can help by like coming by and saying and asking for him to fix something for me?
So there is a rule on assisting, which is skills. I gotta go back to it.
In skills,
Helping each
there's
other. Now, it's a specific thing for helping each other. All right, so one kid may help another overcome trouble if it seems plausible in the situation. To help you describe what you do, then your friend gets one extra die to roll. A kid may never get help from more than one of her friends in a single dice roll. The game master has final say on when helping is possible. When you help someone, you are bound to the outcome of the roll. If it fails, you suffer the same effects as the kid who rolled on it. So really it only applies to the trouble scenes. It's not really something for here.
Okay.
And I mean, he also already rolled, so you could have appealed it before he had done something, but now that he's failed, there's not much that can...
Maybe she could talk to him now that he wasn't able to get it from me. He'd be like, "Hello, boys," and they're all like, "Oh, it's the rocker girl."
Yeah. But as far as William Buxley Jr.'s attempt, you're talking to your friend Alvin. He's in the chess club. And he's like, "Sorry, Buxley, I haven't seen Dean in a while. He was supposed to show up for the mathletes practice yesterday, but he never showed, and he didn't show up on Monday either. He had mentioned helping Becky with her shit. What do they teach at that age?
Long division.
No, these are nerds. They have to be doing something a little more advanced.
Algebra.
Calculus. No, that's what you're learning in like late high school.
I know. I just the first thing that popped in my brain.
Trigonometry.
I had to help. He was helping. He was helping Becky with her pre-algebra exams. Ugh, very pedantic, if you ask me. It's not like she's going to ever do anything other than being a shoe saleswoman or a flight attendant. And he like adjusts his glasses.
Wow, kid.
And William just like the fake is like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know much more than that, but you might still want to ask around and see if anybody else knows something.
Not only does he adjust his glasses, but his nose is like 2 feet straight up in the air when he's talking.
He snaps his suspenders.
Oh, he's got suspenders. He's got suspenders, and he's got the straight hair that's brushed down with the middle part, and it's like there's an excessive amount of gel in it, so that it just stays flat to his dome.
It's like a Lego hair.
I mean, it looks bad. He looks like a nerd.
William just like, alright, thank you, Alvin. I'm going to go. Maybe one of the teachers will know about what's going on with Dean. He's not usually one to not miss things without letting people know.
Yeah, so not very punctual of him at all.
Nerd.
Nerd.
Who was our teacher again?
Mr. Figueroa.
You see Owen all the way down the hall. Nerd. Do I want to try to charm?
Hey, Figueroa. You know anything about the missing kids?
And
And I imagine this is going to translate into like another war story, but
no, this is like the free time when you guys are supposed to be like working on a worksheet or something. So he's over at his desk and he's got the latest like Tom Clancy book open and he's reading. And when he kind of looks up and he's like, "Do I know what's going on? Suddenly I'm George Lopez and I don't know why."
I was about to
He dials back and he's like I don't get involved in what's going on with you kids. If you ask me, it's none of my business to know who's tutoring who and what Becky's current. And he like starts to say something, and then he realizes that he's talking to his students, and he's like, "It's not my business to know who's friends with Becky this week."
So you do know something.
And he just stares. he just stares. And
Damn it.
And he
I
says,
can't believe you'd say that loud.
and as he stares and he goes, "What I know, Hayden, is that you haven't submitted your worksheet yet. So why you should be talking this much is beyond me."
oh yeah,
that's a pretty
here's
good
mine
play.
by the way.
Hayden
So,
just
I
looks
didn't-
down
I
at
didn't
her
hear you,
completed
Shay.
sheet and just didn't want.
Shay
Sorry, what?
said, "Here you go. Here's mine." Brent asked what you said.
Yeah, I didn't hear Shay, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
Shay turned in her sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, you can make a charm roll and then add a +1 because you're like, well, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's still. Okay, so still no success. All right, so
Gee,
he.
Gotta get a 6.
yelling at what
Yeah.
I'm good at.
You gotta get that 6. Are you gonna try and re-roll anything? We just started. Everybody's burning their lucks on knowledge, on information gathering.
I don't think anyone's burned luck yet.
Does anyone have any other ideas? Otherwise, we're gonna have to burn one.
I have an idea, but it's going to be after class.
The hell,
Ask
I'll
for
re-roll.
Do you are gonna
Okay,
try?
stop.
I don't know how important this is.
It's probably not important at all.
Well, then I'm not gonna worry about it.
I mean, that's on you. So yeah.
Wow.
And so, yeah, you like slap.
Oh, I absolutely wrote Caravana on my where the name goes.
And so you slap it down and you're like, well, mine's done. And you see him kind of look at it and he's like, you're right. But the Romans didn't fight at the Battle of Thermopylae. And you see him like take out his red pen and cross something out.
Yeah.
He's like, you shouldn't be so hasty to get the assignments done if you can't get the information right.
William calls out from back. There were Romans at the battle. There weren't that many of them. No.
No, there weren't,
Completely
you
out.
nerd.
Look, this
Like-
guy's a big war nerd, so he's purposely trying to like just bullshit. Like, no, there was. Leave her alone.
Yeah, he just kind of stares at Bugsley and shakes his
You
head.
actually hear Jason. No, there weren't, you nerd.
Well, there's a paper.
Punch Jason in the shoulder.
It's like that hurt me physically, William.
Look, he's BSing on purpose. Thank you very much.
That's why Jason's getting punched in the
probably
shoulder.
knows,
Yeah,
probably
it's-
knows all the dates.
It's like he does the thing where he pinches the bridge of his nose, and like he wants to exhale because it physically hurts him so much that like his top student is getting this information wrong. But then you hear the ring of the bell, and everybody just starts to pack up their stuff and get the hell out before he has to go into a lecture about how
Jin
the Romans.
slams her-
Yeah, and it's like how the Romans were not at Thermopylae. They hadn't even they didn't even exist yet, and so he just. You guys are dismissed and able to make it back out into the halls.
Jean just slams her paper down on the desk before leaving. Had it done the entire time. Bye!
Jason gets up and leaves. His thing's done, but he's not walking over to give it to that ass to him.
Okay, it's due tomorrow, so it's not like you need to give it to him right away. But as you guys file out, this is when Alwyn catches up to the group because there's a bit of free time as you guys are heading towards lunch. Alwyn, your class was, the usual. You went over some English writing, a bit of reading, you did a little bit of math, and then you had your art time before this. So you had time to do your usual stuff, but was there anything special that happened in your class today?
So that's a question for you actually, because a lot of school programs at that age, they don't do art class every day. And she
This
had it on
is
Monday.
a very. It's probably every other day, so
Okay.
this
So,
was a
yeah,
very
so-
easygoing teacher who was like,
So-
"Yeah, art class."
So, not much really happened except Olwen absolutely drew a picture of her dream, which I'm saying is she's probably had the same dream twice in a row, and she doesn't know why because her nightmares usually don't involve other people; it's usually just her. So she definitely drew a picture of the kid.
I need more red for all this blood.
I need all the red and the blue for the blood in the water. But she drew probably kind of like you maybe couldn't make it out. Like it could be mistaken as something else, but she definitely drew a picture of like the kid in the water. But it could have easily just been like, oh, you're just drawing someone swimming, I guess. And yeah, that's weird that you put red in there, but I don't know. The teacher could interpret that however she wanted. I'm going based off of the idea that adults are useless or not super helpful. That is like, oh, nice picture, Olwen.
So it's
And it's like, oh, it's not about her drowning for once. That's positive steps.
concerning as always, but it's an improvement. That's good.
And so when Olwen gets to the other kids, for the past 2 days, she's kind of looked just really kind of out of sorts, like very quiet, and like she'll answer when she's talked to, but she's not engaging as much.
Okay.
And she has not told anybody about her dream outside of the pictures.
And so, as the four of you get out of class and you reconnect with Olwen, it's clear on her face that she's having a bad day, but she hasn't said anything to you guys. So,
Really quick, Bryn, I'd like to do my own little scene, if I may.
sure.
As we all convene for lunch, I'm gonna hand over. Of course, she does this every day. The prepared lunchbox to Olwen to be like, okay, guys, I'm gonna be right back. And thanks to somebody planting this idea in my mind, though adults are mostly useless, I'm gonna go see the guidance counselor
Okay.
and see if I can't get a little information from him
Certainly.
Someone.
or her.
Certainly.
Female guidance counselor probably not in the 80s.
Yeah, probably not in the
Like
US.
guidance counseling was still kind of like a new thing back then, so I don't think they
Very
have
much
it.
a he.
Yeah, it's definitely a he situation.
Okay, so
Either
yeah,
way.
you head to the guidance counselor, and it's just past the office. He's got his own like little side room with the glass that has a name written on it, and it says Dr. Small on it. And so,
Oh, he's a doctor.
oh, of course,
He's a
all of the guidance counselors were, foo-foo-y doctor types. But you go and you knock on the door, and you hear him say, "Enter, dude."
I pull up the door and enter.
And as you open the door, you're hit with the smell of incense, and there's like the sitar music playing on a small boombox that's up on a shelf, and you see a man sitting there. This is Doctor with quotation fingers, Small. He's a older man in his like late 40s. He's got a short but well-groomed beard that's salt and peppered. He's got glasses, also very small and stylish. But his hair is long and tied back into a ponytail, and he's got a professional like suit coat hanging up, but he's sitting.
Never wears it.
Yeah, never wears it because he's sitting in a tie-dye shirt, and he's got sandals on his feet, even though there's also a pair of dress shoes. It's very obvious that he walks into work dressed professionally until he gets past like the principal, and when he's in his office he changes into something more comfortable. It's the performance we put on for the other suits, man, as he would say. But he looks and he says, Jason, welcome back, dude.
Hey, Doc.
Go on and have a seat. And he gestures to the beanbag chair.
Yep, I knew it. Jason sits down, cross-legged in the beanbag chair.
And it conforms familiarly to your shape. And he says, what can I do for you today?
So, I heard a lot of kids have, some kids have, gone missing.
Yeah, it's a real bummer about what's going on. A couple of kids not, gone missing out in the woods. They said, real drag, that Becky girl. They said didn't make it. We think that she might be missing. We haven't really gotten in contact with her parents. They work down at the Loop Foundation, so they ain't never really around to answer the phones. You know anything about that? And he does that.
No,
like
I don't.
he does the thing where he moves to the front of the desk and he sits on it, but he sits on the desk and he cross legs and does the cross finger Gendo Ikari where but he puts them on his lap and he leans in to listen to you, and he's like, you know anything about that, man? These kids who gone missing?
I don't know anything. I was coming to ask you if any of them had, run into any trouble. Or started not being as straight-laced as they always appeared to be.
That's a real thing about it, man. These kids today ain't got no senses. Every uptight square in Beatnik thinking that, you have to act a certain way. Y'all kids, you need to be figuring out for yourselves like we had done back in our age, but everybody's so protective now. It's a real drag. But no, I ain't seen nobody come through in a while. Brad had stopped through last week. We usually have a couple of sessions. He'd been stopping by since last Halloween, but it's a
Who was that, Brad?
Brad, yeah. But that's really a more confidential sort of information. I can't really be talking about what Brad and I discuss in private. Just like I wouldn't. Go ahead. Yeah, you want to try and do something?
I'm gonna roll charm, and what I'm going to say is, as I roll my eyes, and I was like, oh please, if it was really confidential, my mom wouldn't know half the shit that's happening in school.
Ooh, are you gonna mention your mom to him?
Well, he doesn't really mention his mother. Well, he mentions his mother, but not in a way that it's emphasizing anything. He's just saying look, I tell you things because bad shit happens, and then my mom found out, so I assume you have something to do with it. Just offhandedly, not like he's insinuating anything.
But he's totally insinuating the banging.
No.
No. The hippies all know each other. That's all.
But that's what I'm trying.
Go for it. I like this idea.
Blah.
do you want to spend a luck on it? Because it
Yeah.
seems like he has information.
Well, you might. I'll try. And I'm not spending any more luck. So I do a full reroll, correct?
Yeah, it's a full reroll.
Nope, still fail.
Jeez. And he kind of he shakes his head and he's like, "No can do, Buckaroo. Like I said, that's all confidential. And even if your mom is in the gossip rings and stuff, you know, I really can't be telling you much. Maybe if you brought some of them sesame cakes around this place, I might have been a little more inclined to tell you something, but not today, man."
Jason arches his eye, pulls over his backpack, and pulls out his lunchbox. You mean these sesame cakes?
I'll give
Because
you.
I still had mine.
You did. I'll give you a free reroll for it. And he does. You see his
Yes!
you see his eyes go wide. He's like, "Your mom's sesame cakes." He's like, "Yeah, your mom's the good baker, man. She doesn't play around." And he's you see him basically just like snatch him up, and he takes a bite into it. And there's that moment where if she had put something in him, he would have been like, "Oh, that's so good." But it's just the fact that these are the bomb sesame cakes, and he's just like, "Man, you're a cool kid. I can dig it." Brad's been coming in for the past year, real shook up about what happened on Halloween. He ain't been the same since that incident. You probably don't know about it. I probably shouldn't even be telling
Yeah, I'm
you
giving
about
you
it.
a
And he's still he's like, "I probably shouldn't be telling you about this," as he's like eating the cakes and still telling you about it.
I'm slowly handing him a second one, but then when he stops, he's like, "Maybe I shouldn't tell you." I slowly pull it away.
And he reaches and he's like, whoa, I didn't say I wasn't. And he like holds a hand out for it.
I give it to him.
Yeah, last year, man, it was a real drag. Some of the seniors, and as you guys know, this is one of those towns where the middle school and high school are connected. And Olwen, you're on the low end of that, just for the sake of making this work, because I think you're like right on the threshold of middle school, elementary. But you're in the middle school, the low end of it. But they're like, "Yeah, it was a real drag, man. Last year, the seniors, they were throwing their usual parties and stuff for the celebrations of All Hallows Eve, and kid got killed, man. Real messy business. Brad was all part of that, and he feels all shook up about what happened."
So I'm writing down my notes here. Seniors were throwing a party, and a kid was killed?
Yes.
Okay.
Senior party, kid was killed. Brad feels really bad.
Got it.
Brad, and more to the point, Brad's been getting help from the guidance counselor for a year about it.
I know what you did last Halloween.
And Brad possibly missing. Got it.
Outside, I'm just, I'm drumming on some of the lockers while Owen plays a kazoo.
Yeah, sure. Let me wrap up his scene and we'll jump back to all of that. So, did you have any more questions for him?
No, that was it. I'm gonna leave before this man eats my entire lunch.
Yeah, and he is, and he's just like, "All right, little dude, if there's anything else you need, you just bring some more of these cakes by."
Yeah, sure thing, Doc. Hopefully, I'll come back and hopefully not on orders again.
Don't let the man keep you down. And he like puts his fist up.
I never do. I put my fist up again as well and head out.
Okay. So yeah. Meanwhile, while that's all going on, you guys are drumming out and playing the kazoo. You said.
Apparently, she gave me a kazoo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just teaching her how to music.
Okay. So the two of you are playing. What are the other two doing? Because it's lunchtime now. William and Hayden.
Eating food, reading something, probably.
What are you reading there, William?
Extra tater tots, because, lunch lady likes them a lot.
Oh no, reading.
Oh, reading? I was like, oh, what's he eating? Extra.
William,
Reading?
give me your tots.
Probably stuff for the next class, just so he doesn't have to do anything, because he'll just do all the work right away.
Gotcha. Okay. And Hayden, what are you up to?
Are we inside or outside currently?
You are inside.
No idea how they're getting any sort of music stuff done with all this racket around. She's folding more paper footballs.
Okay.
You gotta focus on the tune.
Gotta focus on the tune that is life.
Can't focus
man.
Drown
on
everything
anything.
else out.
Okay.
Owen
so,
knows how to do it. Don't you?
so the two of you are rocking out. One of you's eating and reading, and the other's making paper footballs. All right. So
Are those bullies from the other day around us at all?
as a matter of fact, they aren't. Jason, as you're making your way down the hall,
Great.
you have a trouble scene. So, you're making your way down the hall, heading towards the cafeteria. You're by yourself. You don't have your friends here to back you up. But Sam and Max saw you heading into the office to go talk, and they decided to hang around and wait. So now, as you're making your way down this empty hallway, the two of them appear on the opposite end, and they say, "Hey there, Jason."
Dramatic sigh. Hi, Sam. Hi, Max.
So, you ain't got your friends around to back you up today, and
I'm surprised you can walk straight. I'm ignoring him and talking to the big guy.
You see the big guy, he's had his hands behind his back, but now, as you say that, he kind of looks at you with, just a fire in his eyes, and he pulls the baseball bat that he had behind him out, and he says, "Yeah, but you're not getting a cheap yeah, but you're not getting a cheap shot in today."
Jason laughs.
There's a reason
and
he doesn't.
laughs
There's a
and
reason he doesn't
continues
talk very
laughing.
much. And so the two of them,
It's like that scene from Suburban Commando.
slowly start approaching you.
Jason has his hand in his pocket, and I don't know if the bullies know this yet, but Jason has his. He always keeps his garden shears with him,
Mm-hmm.
so he's clutching. They're in his pocket, and he's currently grasping them, and he has them unclipped like a weapon, and he's getting ready to use them if this kid's really going to use a baseball bat on him.
Oh, it looks like he fully intends to use it, at least intimidating wise. But the two of them are steadily approaching, and basically the way this hallway is set up, you had walked down a hall from the office and hooked a left, and to get to the current hallway you're in. So it's not like any administration could see what's happening right now. And, it's the 80s, so there's no, actual,
cameras.
There's no cameras, there's no security. You might get lucky and have a teacher in the hallway, but it's very unlikely. And it looks like between the two of you, there's, the entrance to the boys' bathroom, and it looks like they're planning to kind of drag you in there if you don't do something immediately. So, how do you want to deal with this problem?
It's like I look over at the bathroom, and it's like that would be a convenient place. So I can either run into the bathroom myself and deal with the problem myself. I'm trying to think of how Jason would handle this. Or retreat back into the guidance counselor's office and try and outrun these two losers. But Jason doesn't run.
These colors don't run.
He doesn't run from bullies. That's not what he does.
So you should stand up to them.
I'm never afraid. It's my pride. I'm never afraid to stand up to people bigger than me. So he will actually beat them to the bathroom first and set up a minor ambush.
So you're gonna make a run for the bathroom?
Make a run for the bathroom, get around a corner, and use the mirror in the bathroom to set up a perfect ambush on the two bullies, so he knows right when to swing.
Okay. So, Jason, the camera watches you basically book for it, and as you do, the little ones like, get him! And, they chase after you, falling for this bait. They expect to give you a swirly or something horrible that bullies do in the 80s. And so as they're coming around, you rush in, you close the door behind you, and you set up watching the mirror, and the two of them come in. So give me this would be the force body, and because there's the two of them, I'll need 2 successes. But you have your iconic item, and you have your pride, so you have the extra rolls on top of it.
Okay, so I have 2 extra d6, and what I'm going to use the iconic item for, my idea was to use it to block the bat, if he's using it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't plan on, cutting fingers. That's
Yeah. It's there for defense.
I got one of them.
Got one.
And I'd like that 1 success to go on the big guy,
Well,
if possible.
if you need to, it's an all or nothing. So if you don't,
it's an all or nothing?
Yeah. So you're free to re-roll it. Otherwise, it's considered a fail.
I will push.
Okay. What condition are you taking to push?
Angry.
Ooh,
Because this is day 2.
getting mad. Oh, you really thought they weren't gonna mess with you after what you did? Yeah,
Day
I know.
2 of me
I like
being
it.
back, and these bastards are.
Well, day 3. We skipped Tuesday.
day 3? Okay.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
So I take 1 die off automatically, or do I do that for?
The pushing, I think, gives you the re-roll as well.
Okay, so
But you gain the condition, and basically you have to role play with that condition.
there's my
on
second
there.
success. So
Uh,
7 total, and then I'm rolling 1 extra die for me.
Well, no. When you re-roll, it doesn't include the previous one.
Yeah, it doesn't include the previous. I rolled 9 dice, Ren, and I re-roll all dice but my successes.
Does it say that?
Yeah, pretty sure that's what it says.
When you push a roll, you must first check a condition. Choose any condition that you feel fits the story. Then you re-roll all the dice except those showing 6.
Okay, great.
If the re-roll is successful, the game master describes what happens. If the re-roll also fails, you may not push again.
No, that's great. All right, so good. Your success carries over when you push, so great. That's the 2 successes you need then. You turn the tables on these bullies, and as they enter the bathroom expecting to be able to get you, you get the drop on them again, and the camera basically shows just this flash of angry Jason's fury. You get a punch in, a kick, you block the bat. One of the kids tries to go for the door, but you're seeing red, and you basically you get into the high school kid fight. You don't fight to kill or severely hinder anybody, but you're fighting. So a kid's got a black eye, and basically the camera pans out again as the sounds of this fighting happens, and it shows from an exterior shot of the bathroom door opening up and Jason walking out, kind of dusting his hands off, and then it peeks around the corner and it sees the 2 boys laying on the bathroom floor, a bloody nose and a black eye, and the bat somewhere over by one of the urinals, and it looks like Jason once again thoroughly thrashed these 2.
On the way back to lunch, Jason will actually take a moment
The fuck this kid's made of?
to like lean against a locker and try and calm down, because he doesn't like he doesn't like feeling like this. He's still gonna be, he'll still have the condition, but he just doesn't want to show back up pissed off at his friends for no reason. That's it. I'll come back to lunch now.
All right. And I believe the condition does stay for a while, though.
I think it doesn't go away until the session ends.
Yeah.
It goes away if you go do downtime with your anchor.
Ah, there you go.
Okay. Well, I don't have time for downtime.
Yeah. So you're gonna be fuming, because your anchor is your mom and she's not here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm fuming for a while.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be.
Hey, Jason.
You-
Saved you pudding.
Don't eat your stinking pudding. It's not
No,
organic.
I will angrily take the pudding and start eating it.
You all notice that he looks angry.
Is that blood on your shirt?
Yes. Continue eating. And it's not mine. Those two meatheads came at me again. Or sorry, one meathead. The other one's a nerd, but not as smart as ours.
Not as smart as ours.
He's a half-rate nerd.
I don't know if I believe that. If he were any sort of smart, he'd know to stop doing this shit.
Or pick better
Oh,
Jason
targets.
it
snapped
covers
his
it.
fingers. He's a politician.
Owen covers her mouth when Hayden swears.
You said
Fuck.
bad.
I'm sorry,
I
Owen.
hear most-
That's a bad word.
It's only bad if you let it be bad.
So is attacking people with a freaking baseball bat. But you'd think they wouldn't. They'd stop at that.
How'd that work out for them?
You think this will be trouble later?
I don't know. Crushing the guy's nutsack would turn into more trouble.
They're also
Third
not
time's a
masters
charm.
of pattern recognition.
It's true.
Just means they're gonna get dirtier with their tricks.
I don't know. I'm wondering what's pissing them off so much.
So we don't leave Jason alone. Someone stays with Jason at all times.
I roll my eyes. I don't need your help.
No, but you're
Handle
getting
that.
it anyway. I poke him in the chest.
I grumble and continue to angrily eat my pudding.
And then I high five Ash.
Fucking pudding is so.
I guess I'm left
delicious.
hanging.
Aw,
I guess she has a throat condition.
she is left hanging.
I angrily high five you. Jay,
I'm gonna put. Yeah, I just keep coughing. I'm gonna put my the drumsticks in Owen's hands and start showing her how to use them for the rest of lunch.
You can tell that she's probably she'll do it, but you can tell she's probably doing it just because you want her to do it, but the effort's really not there today.
Oh
Well,
no.
I'm not gonna do it if there's no effort. It's basically Ashley trying to make Owen happy.
You okay, Olwen? You seem sad for
Yes.
a while now.
Oh, I had a bad dream a couple of nights.
You know, I have bad dreams too.
Yeah, are these bad dreams aren't like anything new that we've heard out of Olwen.
No, and it's the fact, so it's probably weird that she's even mentioning it, because it's probably, at this point, it's probably a given that she has nightmares every night.
So what's different about these ones?
It's not me in them. It's someone else in the lake, and And she just kind of stops before she says. She started to say something that began with a D, but she stopped and kind of looks very uncomfortable.
Did you recognize them?
She shakes her head.
Just strangers then.
I mean, I guess I don't know too many people besides you guys.
People at the lake. And you said they're dating?
Maybe they were kissing. But when the dream ends, the boys, the lake's full of blood.
Boy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that boy.
I don't know about any boy, but I talked to Doc for, you know, the muscleheads tried to get at me. He mentioned some girl named Becky might be one of the ones missing.
Yeah, she's dating Brad, but supposedly might have been with Dean.
Either way, he said she wasn't phoned in sick like some of the others. Though, now that you mentioned Brad, he did talk about Brad a bit, but I'd rather tell you guys not at school. Kind of a sensitive subject.
Maybe we should check out the lake.
I mean, yeah, you want to go to the lake and make sure everything's all right.
But the principal said we weren't allowed.
Yeah, but adults say we're not allowed to do a lot of things.
And we do them anyway.
Owen doesn't have an answer for that.
like build a treehouse.
Well, you mean we weren't allowed to do that?
Shut up.
We don't have to, but
I gotta be right back again, sorry.
Sure.
It's like, well, I think some of us should go. Maybe see what's going on, because I heard the same things about, like, Becky and Dean and,
Oh, Becky.
I know Jimmy's missing too, but he's actually called in sick. Like, so if there's actually something going on, maybe we could find something out.
it's possible.
I don't know why the adults would want to keep so much from us if it's supposedly dangerous.
It's why they're keeping it from us if it's dangerous.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, my
Don't ruin
parents.
childhoods.
Don't hide dangerous things, though. That's how people get hurt by the danger. It's like landmines. You bury them. That's when they explode on people, when they don't know it's coming.
You don't usually say, "Hey, this is dangerous," but we're not going to tell you that it's dangerous. Everything's all right, but it's dangerous.
Exactly. That's why you have to label the minefield if you want to keep people out of it. They should know this by now, but they're dumb. So we should go figure it out. For ourselves.
Jason the camera turns to Jason and he's just staring at Hayden slowly eating that pudding as she just keeps monologuing over and over and over and over again. And that sounds like a great idea.
Meanwhile, she's just doing the SpongeBob imagination rainbow, but it's logic.
I mean, it sounds like a bad idea, but potentially useful.
Bad ideas can be the most fun. We just gotta get back before nightfall, because of the curfew. Dad would kill us.
Your dad.
Dad would kill us. It's my dad. But your dad too.
Jack ain't my dad.
Oh no.
My mom raised me right.
Oh no.
Doesn't sound like it.
Hey, I covered for y'all. You're the one who threw that paper football.
I know, and I feel terrible about it.
Well,
That doesn't mean anything. If
I didn't
Dora
have-
raised you right, then yeah.
my mom taught me always to stand up for people. Couldn't.
I don't get what
I
this
mean-
has to do with you hating my dad.
Let's talk about it.
You know, Jason was almost in trouble. He didn't do anything then. I had a clean record, so I could cover for him. I can't keep doing that, but
I feel like you're just trying to shift the topic somewhere else because you don't want to talk about why you hate my dad. So
This is really
fine.
good pudding, guys.
I already had a dad.
Camera pans to the others. Like, this isn't awkward or anything. Chair over here.
This is awkward.
This lunch period's
I don't
lasting
need
a
a
while.
second dad. I already had one. That didn't go so well.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with accepting another one into your life. I accepted your mom. And she just sadly munches on her celery sticks.
But do they have peanut butter?
Damn right they do.
Jason looks at the celery sticks. You should really eat carrots instead.
It's only if you believe the government hype about your eyes.
Yeah, well, we all don't grow our own carrots, Jason.
Why not?
I don't know. That
Yeah, but-
doesn't have time.
Celery's just green stuff and water. There's nothing in there. At least
What do
you
you
know.
care?
At least carrots will improve your eyesight.
That's a myth.
Tell that to my mom, he says.
I can't tell anything to your mom. Dad won't let us go near your house.
Everyone goes, I could type out a paper for her.
Didn't you just
Jason-
say that
Jason-
adults say a lot of things that we do anyway?
Jason arches an eyebrow, turns to look at.
Yeah, but I don't like the way his house smells either. That's why we hang out at the fort.
And
Whose house
Jason
smells?
arches an eyebrow, turns to
Jason's.
Ashley. He's like, "You're right. Your dad sucks."
Wow. Ashley's like, finally, something we agree on.
Hayden will remember this.
Hayden will
You're the
remember
one that
this.
said your dad won't let you go near my house.
It's like, they haven't banned. He hasn't banned us from hanging out with you. We're just not allowed in the house.
Music playlist finally ended. Me.
Also, Hayden doesn't like the way your house smells.
That was wonderful.
What does his house smell like? Let's talk.
Hot.
What?
You heard me.
Hayden thinks your house smells like reefer.
What? How does it smell? How is that a smell?
Do you not know what pot smells like?
I heard hot. What did he say?
Pot. The pea.
Oh, no, it does not smell like that, you asshole.
I mean, Hayden doesn't know. She's just regurgitating what people
What her
tell
father
her.
said? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also got a very sensitive nose and can probably tell the potted plants are kind of strong.
The potted plants.
So she's she's misconstruing what she thinks is a bad smell as pot.
I'm just going
We
to
are
point,
13.
I'm just going to point to the GIF I linked.
Wrong place for it, but yes, still good. There you go. You fixed it. I mean, hey.
Anyway, is Rez back yet so we can continue?
Doesn't sound like it. Y'all can keep talking.
We can what?
Keep talking. About anything, really. What's on your little children hearts?
Well, Hayden is now just angrily eating her food.
Later, Ashley is gonna apologize to Hayden, but not in front of everyone.
Gotta keep that punk rocker aspect going, don't you?
Yeah.
Jason's not going to apologize.
So awkward stares. Okay.
Awkward stares.
Does anybody
didn't-
want to eavesdrop on some other conversations going on?
I do.
Do it, girl. Get it.
What role is that? Contact?
It can be.
Now, contact specifies you need to date someone you're looking for.
I think investigate might work. Find hidden objects, understand clues, bring us a place or a situation. Yeah, so we'll say for this sake we can do investigate, and then you can pose the questions to me in regards to what you're trying to eavesdrop on. Like, is anyone talking about blank? And then I can give you some information. Okay, cool.
Hey, I finally succeeded on something. Is anyone talking about anything relating to, like, the Loop Foundation around the lake or anything like that?
So you excuse yourself to go throw away your lunch trash, and as you're walking around, you notice that since William likes to sit with you guys during lunch, he's not over at the what's designated the nerd table. And this isn't like the bookworm table. This is the computer nerds table specifically, because even the nerds have their own cliques. The computer nerds seem to be talking about the loop and some of the information that's going on, and you can overhear them discussing something about what happened Monday night. And they're like, yeah, I heard about it from my parents too. Something broke into the foundation. No, something broke out. No, something was skulking around the area. It seemed like whatever it was got loose and was roaming around in the forest. Do you think that's why they didn't want anybody going out there, because they don't know what it is? Whatever it might be, it might be connected to. No, it can't be that. Shh, don't talk about it. And they all kind of like stop and turn and look at you as you're just kind of overhearing what they're saying.
I toss my trash and then I just casually walk back.
Okay.
And then give him like a little like acknowledgement stare.
And they were staring at you as you were listening in, but once you start walking away, it seems like they kind of huddle together and continue their conversation in a more hushed tone, but they don't pay you any mind once you're out of earshot.
Okay.
Are you gonna share that with anybody else?
I'm back.
Yeah, I just keep. So it sounds like There's something skulking around from the Loop Foundation.
That place is just weird.
Well, most of her parents work there.
Yeah,
Cole doesn't say
It's
anything.
possible that it's connected to whoever went missing.
strange stuff comes out of there all the time, right? At least that's what I hear.
Usually not strange stuff that kills people.
Well, obviously not that. But I guess maybe
Obviously.
this time that? I don't know.
Hopefully not.
Maybe people are just overreacting. Maybe Brad and Becky snuck out to a concert the other night.
Oh snap!
Hey. Did I see them at the concert?
That is a great question. Is there a memory roll? There isn't. So let's say yes, you did see. So the camera flashes back to this concert, and remind me, what concert did Ashley go to?
I don't think we picked one.
Yeah, so which one did she go to?
Ooh, let's say, oh gosh, what would be appropriate that I could sneak into?
You could probably just make up a local band if you can't think of something. Firestarter.
I was gonna say, Guns N' Roses, but I don't know.
I don't know how much those tickets would have cost back then, but you probably could have snuck in. What did we say? This is 1988?
Uh-huh.
I could just make it up.
Well, I'm just trying to see how much the tickets would have been back then.
It could have. It's probably a smaller. It was probably smaller than that.
But no, we can say you snuck in if you wanted to say, 'cause she's a rebel. That's not outside her wheelhouse. Is that something you want her to do?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, the camera flashes back then to Monday night as you're sneaking your way past the bouncers to get into this concert, and Guns N' Roses is down on the stage. They're doing their warm up routine, and they're warming up their instruments and doing all this stuff, and they start up the music, and as you're in the crowd making your way down towards the mosh pit, you do recall seeing that Becky and Brad are there, but it looks like they're not having really a good time. Brad's seems to be instigating some kind of argument with her, and that's just breaking concert code. So as the two of them start fighting, and he reaches to grab her from storming away, a rocker headbutts him, and he gets jumped on by a couple of the rockers who don't want to see a lady get hassled, and so she storms off in a different direction, not really noticing that he got slowed down. But you don't care. You don't get involved in that because you're making your way to the mosh pit, and this is your night. You're not going to get caught up in any sort of fights and get in trouble. You're just there to party. And so yeah, you zoom back and you're like, oh yeah, I totally did see them, but they fought. That's weird.
So, Becky and Brad were at the concert on Monday, but they were fighting.
Jason
I wonder
just
if he
shrugs.
found out about Dean.
Oh no, not Dean.
Jason just shrugs. Whatever. Fights happen.
You know, for normal kids, it's not an occurrence. It's not an actual daily occurrence, Jason.
The camera pans to the bathroom where the two kids are still unconscious.
Shit.
Fights happen. It's normal. It's not normal.
Well, tell that to my life because it happens all the time, and I try and stay out of it. Hell, we're having one right now, and I just glare at Hayden.
I'm just picturing that.
I mean, the difference is you're not using your fist this time.
I'm just picturing that everybody who was into that bathroom is just like, oh, I don't want to get involved. So they just take care of their business and then leave.
Don't want to be involved in this.
Some of them go in, they see just the mess that those two are in. It's like, nope, and they just turn around and just, I'm out.
I'll walk to the other side of the school and use the other bathrooms.
Yeah, nobody wants to help these two.
Some of the nerds go in there like, yeah, serves you right, losers. And then like one of them stirs and they're like, oh god, and then they run.
Yeah, they still manage to get swirlied. Oh, poor kids.
As Jason raises his voice, Owen's hiding behind Ashley.
Yeah.
Now Jason feels fucking terrible, and he just disappears into his pudding cup, which is empty by now. But he's just like, I need to do something.
You're still getting every trace of it you can with a finger, just trying to get. It's like there's still some in there, and it makes me angry. All right, so that's when the lunch bell will ring, signaling for you guys to go back to class, and the rest of the day kind of zooms by again. The talk of Becky, Brad, and Dean still being missing seems to be on the back burner for a lot of the kids as they're just trying to get through the midweek hump. What's funny about these kids being dead? Okay.
No, that's not it. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna mute myself.
Okay. It's on the back burner for a lot of these kids, and before long, the school day's over, which leaves you all walking home again. It's a crisp autumn afternoon. The weather is cloudy and gloomy, but not the kind of cloudy and gloomy that looks like it's going to rain, but it's just that fall gray overcast that always seems to hit the northeast once it gets into that fall winter time, and there's less sunlight and everything just seems muted a bit more.
So the perfect weather.
No, it's that when you suddenly realize your seasonal depression is kicking in again. I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Okay. So, you guys are walking home. What is... I'll just go around the table. What does everybody want to do with their afternoon?
I want to see about getting everyone together into the clubhouse, but only after I've helped my mother out in the garden for a bit.
Okay, so you want to go off and center yourself.
You cut out again.
You want to go off and center yourself.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'll put a pin in that since you got a scene earlier. We'll get to that. Anybody else?
Hayden would be giving Owen a piggyback ride home, and probably in order to meet with the others later, be getting into the house and grabbing her hockey stick and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And other sports equipment just to mess around.
So
she really wants to investigate the lake.
So planning to get out into the forest anyways.
Yes.
Okay, Ashley, since your sister is planning to make her way out, what are you doing?
I will. I'll apologize to her, but not say anything about her dad. And, I don't know, I guess I'll ask, William to help with some of the electronic stuff.
Okay, so the two of you, as you make your way into the house, Ashley, you immediately break off to, get your stuff and then head over to Williams. But Hayden, you plan to sneak off into the forest, and it doesn't sound like you conferred this plan with your sister. So, as you're gathering your things and you're heading out, your mom's home early. Your stepmother, in this case, Ashley quickly is like, going over to the nerd's house, bye. And as you're making your way out a few minutes later, she stops you and she's like, and where are you going, young lady?
Out?
Out where?
Outside.
There's been a police-wide curfew put out. Your sister's only going into the cul-de-sac. I can't have you going out into your little clubhouse out in the woods. You know that. That's not where you were going, was it? And she gives that, like, I'm only your stepmom, so I can't, like, put on the full authoritative look, but I'm trying without overstepping my stepmother bounds.
Look, I just don't want to kick a ball around the house.
And I appreciate that, but I still need to know where you're going. Your father's going to start asking questions when he gets home, and
I'll be back before him. And I'll be fine. I'm not going far.
Okay.
Promise.
So, we're gonna need a roll from you to try. Aha.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I'm going to... I'm just gonna buy the bonus effect. She keeps believing me.
Okay. Yeah. So, so she keeps believing you, and she's like, all right, well, just keep an eye on your sister. She tends to get into a lot more trouble than you do, Hayden. So as long as you're with your sister, I suppose it'll be all right if you're back before your father is.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back before nightfall.
and it's like, you see that, like, momentary pause as suddenly it's like, I'll be back before
That was
Dad
a joke,
is.
Nora.
No, it's like, I'll be back before Father is. And then it becomes, I'll be back before nightfall. And she pauses, catching it. But she nods, and she's like, all right, Hayden, you're a good girl. There's no reason to doubt. It's like that kind of like, you're a good kid. There's no reason to second guess that. And so she doesn't say anything. She just kind of nods, and she's like, okay, that sounds acceptable. Just be safe.
And I pop out the door. I'm just like, it was a joke, Nora.
Oh, well, now you just
Not
wouldn't.
like,
Now you wouldn't ruined it.
or anything.
Okay, so so you head out and you go off into the forest alone? Question mark.
Well, I was trying to confer with the others because I thought we were all going to go do it.
Nope. Jason is centering himself.
Jason is centering
Jason let
himself.
you know that he has to go gardening with his mother, and he'll meet up with you guys later.
Yep. And so the two lovebirds went to go make out in the basement and play some music. I mean, what?
Jason definitely doesn't want to bother Olwen with this because she knows how Olwen gets.
Yes. So Olwen, what are you doing?
She went home to feed Mr. Mittens part of her lunch because she thinks Mr. Mittens can't fend. She's basically got like a reverse cat feeling with her cat. Where it's like, he can't feed himself. He's just a cat. So she brings half of her lunch home to give to him.
Okay. As you open the door, you see that there's been a number of candles lit, and you weren't the one to light them. As
She gets super excited and runs into the house.
Yep, and you run into the house, and sitting there in the kitchen is your mother. She's an older woman with blonde, graying hair. She's got the I want to say babushka, but like the scarf over her head. That's got like the typical like Russian matriarch patterns on it, and she's dressed in a very like nice gown, despite the cold, and she's got like the shawl scarfy thing over it to keep her shoulders and neck warm. But she's sipping some tea, and there's a really nice. It's like one of the nicest things you guys have is a really nice tea set. And it's a very exotic looking like porcelain tea set, and it's got all of these patterns of like ice and old Russian folklore drawn onto it, and the various cups. But as you run in, there's a second plate and cup sitting there, and she looks and she says, little snowflake, please come and sit down. It's been so long since I had the chance to see you after school.
Owen runs up and sits down, and it's very clear on her face that she, like any bad day that she had is immediately gone.
Little one, and she like smiles and she pours you some tea, and there's like a lemon cake there, and she says, Mr. Mittens has told me he has been keeping an eye on you. You have been behaving yourself and doing all of your studies. That is good.
I've been real good.
And she smiles, and the cat is sitting on his own chair. There's a like plate, and it looks like there's a piece of fish there, and he's just kind of like looks at you, and he just doesn't really say anything. But she smiles and she pets the cat and closes his eyes and purrs appreciatively at the woman, and she says, "How are you, my darling?"
I'm good. In that typical tone of voice where it's like, I've been having nightmares, but she doesn't want to say it because she doesn't want to ruin time with her mom by her mom worrying about her. But it's very clear that Olwen can't hide that.
And yeah, the mother's eyes narrow a little bit, and she says, No. We do not tell stories. If something is bothering you, you use your words.
I've been having nightmares still.
You are not drinking your tea before bed. It will calm your nerves, of course.
I have been.
And the cat goes, meow, like he's selling you out.
Owen just shoots Mr. Mittens a look like, come on, man.
You bastard. And
I'm
she,
just a cat.
yeah, it seems like she lets up, and she just kind of like gives you that knowing look as she sips some more tea. And she says, your friends, how are they?
Oh, they're really good. Ashley has, she's sick and she's coughing a lot, but she gave me a kazoo, and she takes out the kazoo and she like plays a note, like probably the only note that she's managed, which is basically the only note that anybody manages when they play a kazoo.
And she says, the willowy one, yes. She needs to eat more turnips. It will make her more hardy.
I don't think they buy turnips.
And she kind of like stares for a moment because she's
Owen definitely has like a comment for everything her mom says because she likes talking to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So she feels like she doesn't want to not say anything, so she'll be like, I'll just say whatever comes to my mind.
She's the kid that has a response to everything and says exactly what's on her mind.
But it's only with her mom. Like, that's absolutely not the case with anybody else.
And even though she stares, it's clear that she just absolutely adores it. She never has like the angry look that you speak your mind, and she just kind of nods and she's like, yes, that makes sense.
Oh, and Jason got into another fight again.
And that, like, that's what makes her pause, and she says, hold on. Where's my information? Ah, there we go. Family notes is on a different page. And she frowns and she says, I will have to talk to Diana about this then.
Yeah, you thought it was the guidance counselor, Corey. It was Owen. Owen's the one who's selling you out. Shit.
And she says,
Damn it, Doc, you sold me out again!
and she's like, I will have to talk to Diana again. This is not good. Not good for you, not good for him. You all should find balance in your lives.
And Owen starts sipping her tea. But the dreams I've been having weren't the last 2 nights, they weren't about me. They were about 2 kids. And they died.
And she looks thoughtfully and she says, yes. The police were going around asking if we had seen the 2 missing children. A Dean and a Becky. It is concerning. They are not your age, yes?
I think they're older than me. They're not in my class.
Older students. Likely young and foolish. They are just dreams, child.
But I had them before the police said anything to the principal.
Yes, I know. But dreams have a way of warning you. I did not say that they should be ignored. But just know that they are dreams. The dreams will not harm you. They seek to guide you.
Oh. It's clear that she has no idea what that's supposed to mean.
And she gets that, and she says, it is okay to be afraid of what you see, but just remember and know that it is a warning, that you should be careful in what you do going forward. It might help show you a way.
Okay, Mom.
That's my girl. And she, like, reaches over and rustles your hair. And she gets up and she says, unfortunately, I need to be going again.
That's okay.
Walk with me. We will
Okay.
We will go over to the Muller house. I will speak with Diana, and you can go play with Jason.
Okay.
And so the two of you make your way out. She very slowly and systematically blows out the candles again, and she moves in an odd pattern that seems to have some significance to her, but you're not really sure, because she's not moving in any sensible order. She's literally going from one side of the room to the other, then across, and then back down, and then around. Like there's a pattern to it, but you couldn't draw it out, from where you were standing. And it doesn't make any sense, instead of when she could just go, around the room clockwise or counterclockwise. It's just... It's odd.
It's a Wiccan thing.
Yes, but probably beyond Olwen's grasp at the moment. There could be a reason behind it.
Totally just
She
threw a pentagram.
she believes that there is probably a reason behind it, and she's probably seen it enough that she probably can't mimic it perfectly, but she probably knows like the first 5 candle, like, oh, she does this one and that one and this one, and then after that it's like, and I'm only 11, and now this is just
I'm only 11.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
end
I
of it.
can't. Pattern recognition only goes so far when you're 11 years old.
I'm 11, and what is this?
Pretty much.
Where are the bonus effect things on the?
If you have the PDF, page 74, because it's under skills.
skills.
But yeah, she's happy that her mom's home, even though she's leaving, and she's probably tries to grab Mr. Mittens to go on a trip, but
He
that's
probably, since he's your iconic item, he probably does go with you. But whether he stays like in your arms or is just in the immediate area,
yeah, he
remains
probably
to be
like
seen.
he's probably like, I will tolerate this carrying thing for like 5 minutes, and then I'm just gonna go idle. Like he's always kind of there when she really like is like, oh, I really wish the cat was here, and it's like, oh, the cat's here. But again, I have no idea how I'm using this thing as an iconic item for stat bonuses. But it's just fun.
That's one for sure.
Here's
Okay.
a question: how is Olwen carrying him? Just like by the chest, or does she have him over her shoulder? Probably-
Which way does Mittens tolerate?
Yeah, it's probably like, I mean, I'm trying to think like as she probably like tries to like hold him like a baby, so like probably like with like she's holding him and like his head is probably like peeking over one of her shoulders, and she's just like, yeah, and then it's probably easy enough for him to just kind of like squirm out and jump off of her shoulder, so she's probably like, yeah, that's how he likes it, and it's probably super uncomfortable for him, but I'm 11 and I don't know that.
I don't know the difference. That's gonna be your excuse
I'm
forever.
11.
I'm 11.
Ask
I don't
me
know
if I
what's going
care.
on.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a pretty good excuse.
It is. It's a very solid excuse. It works for a couple years at least.
Yep, and then when she hits 13, it's like, you should probably know better by now. And it's like, my art skills haven't improved in 2 years. I'm still drawing with crayons.
Oh no.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Hey, don't make fun of people that draw with crayons. I've seen some crazy crayon artwork.
Anyway, yeah. So that's me. If you want to progress.
Yeah. All right. So before long, there isn't a knock on the Muller door because they know that they can just go around to the garden. And before long, Jason, you and your mother have this routine of just being in the garden. She's happy to help you recenter yourself, and as you're working on a particular patch, that's when Agatha Crowley and Olwen open the gate and step through, and Diana puts on a smile, and she's like, Agatha, it's so good to see you again. Yes.
For the record, since Jason showed up really, really pissed, I assume Jason's mother would ask, what's wrong? Like, she'd immediately be able to clue in, and Jason's not going to lie to his mother.
Yep.
She'd just say, some boys attacked me, and I fought back.
Yep.
Again.
And she, of course, gives you the concerned hippie mother frown, but it never escalates beyond that. And she's just like, oh, Sunbeam, I thought we talked about this.
What do you want me to do? Stand there and get beaten down with a baseball bat?
And
I
she
had
says-
something.
And she shakes her head and she says, of course not. You did exactly what your father would have done. And I can't fault you for that. You had to
Jason.
protect yourself.
Jason sighs. Why does it feel terrible then?
It, and, actually, that's a really good reflective moment when you say, then why does it feel terrible? And she walks over and she hugs you and she says, you should be concerned when it doesn't feel terrible. When you feel nothing, means that you've lost your humanity.
Jason hugs back, and I know she's my center, but at the same time, I want to check scared.
It's like, Jason will remember that.
Jason will remember this. Anyway, continue.
So she smiles at Agatha walking in, and Olwen, you're basically free to walk in and go, mess up his flowers and stuff once you're
Yeah,
turned
I
loose.
imagine the Mullers probably have like a very specific part of the garden where it's like Owen's part of the garden, and it looks like
Just hell.
nothing. It does not look anything good. Like there's maybe something is growing, but she's like, I just put whatever there, so I don't know.
For the record, Olwen may put whatever there, but once fall is over and spring shows up, it's gonna be the most majestic fucking area.
Oh snap! Someone's been
It's like-
playing in your garden.
Oh no, it's just like, how to describe it? Jason's and his mother's garden would be like very, very meticulous and pretty, while Olwen's section would be as if the Feywild exists in the real world. So it would just be wild and crazy, but it would be at the same time really pretty to look at.
Yeah, just an
Right
explosion
now it looks
of
like hell because it's fall.
explosion of flowers that don't make any sense.
Any
but-
sense?
Yeah. And so the two of them start talking, and it seems to be kind of going over exactly what happened. And, Agatha doesn't point out that Olwen had mentioned it, but she's just like, yeah, I heard about what happened and wanted to make sure everything's okay. And she's like, oh, don't worry. He handled it exactly the way he should have. And they're talking, but it leaves the two of you.
Does Jason hear that Olwen's mother told my mother that I got in a fight?
No, she basically says, I heard about what happened. She's being a tactful adult who's not being like, hey, did you hear your son got in a fight? She's like, I heard about what happened. Is everything okay?
Okay, so for all Jason knows is that she might be talking about the missing kids.
Yeah, and and at one point they do kind of drift that way, and basically they're like, hey, as they're talking, they're like, we probably shouldn't be letting the kids go out, but and your mother in particular is like, oh, but if we try and tell them no, they're just going to sneak out anyway, so it's better to know that we know where they're going. And Agatha kind of nods, and she's like, there's sense to that. And it's like, let's not tell the others if they sneak off. And the two of them kind of nod in agreement, and it's like, okay. But they've largely left you guys to your own devices.
Meanwhile, Hayden's sneaking off.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hayden lying to her parents and sneaking off. But let's take a break. We're at the 2-hour mark. So Shane eats 15, which is fine with me. So let's take 10, and then I will handle Frost scene. Oh wait, I can't do Frost because that's where she is. Shit. Let's take some time, and we'll come back. So everybody stick around. We'll continue shortly.
In other news, I don't know. I know Shay probably won't be too happy to hear this, but I think I'm actually enjoying this game more than I'm enjoying Forest for the Trees. I don't know, or it might just be because it's different. I don't know why.
It's a nice change of pace. For me in particular, there's a lot less that I as the DM gets to do. So it's like, it's not that I'm bored, but it's like I don't roll any dice ever in this game.
That's a good thing. You tend to murder people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, it's like I don't have anything that I do, and the rule set is so simplistic in that it's like you really just need, to make that success. And as we've seen, it's not guaranteed all the time.
Oh no, successes are hard.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, especially when it's like, oh yeah, this is like when shit gets serious and it starts becoming the 2 or the 3, successes, it becomes a little bit harder for you guys. But, you guys really haven't had any negative setbacks yet, which is kind of neat. And yet, we're playing this out like a mini series, so the escalation has to ramp up. We're slowly getting there.
We haven't gotten to the supernatural shit yet.
Yeah. This is the first episode was definitely establishing who you guys are. The second episode is when stuff starts to happen and you're hearing the rumors about what's going on. Next week, shit will probably hit a high point and you guys will run into your first thing with it. You know, the next episode, you guys will start coming up with your plan, and then the finale, you'll deal with the problem, and we'll wrap up.
I just hope it's not actually the thing. I don't think Rez can handle head spiders.
Oh no. No.
It's like these past 2 episodes has basically just been...
It's been set up. It's been setting up exactly where... Oh, go ahead.
I put a link.
Oh, has been...
in Tales from the Loop.
Bulk and Skull theme. Nice.
Oh, it's accurate.
That's... I'm not gonna lie. That's basically who I've been channeling for these 2 bullies.
So now we all need
They're-
colored outfits the next time they get their asses kicked, so they can be mad about the Power Ranger knockoffs that we are.
It's like every time they show up, Jaden's totally wearing a yellow shirt.
But it's like, but remember in like the first season when it came out, like they were actually like bullies, and then they just devolved into jokes, and it's like that's kind of how it's going.
Well, I mean, yeah, just really quick, because it was like they were bullies, and now they're failing at being bullies. Well,
and see, the thing about that is, it's like I can't make them very threatening because it's dependent on your roles. So it's like yeah, they're picking on the person who fights back. So it's like, pretty soon
Yeah.
they're gonna have to start catching Buxley by himself if they really want to be bullies.
You're going to feel better about themselves while fighting like the person with a 2 in their body.
Yeah, they start picking on.
rather than the guy that has 5, they should really.
Well, that's how bullies do, though. They don't go for the challenge. They need to be going for the easy target, and that's just the mistake
like,
they
why
made.
do they keep going for the challenge?
Yeah, so
You
make them
happen
go
to be
for
there.
the other people.
Well,
Go
it was just because Jason was alone, and they needed to get back at him.
Wait till they find out that the secret that William Buxley's shorthand name is Billy, and he just kicks the shit out of them with martial arts.
Oh no, your shorthand for me. I have you down as BJ, and I'm just gonna write down now Velasquez.
Look, all I'm saying is,
the one sent to Mars or the one sent to Germany. There's 2 very different ones, even though they're the same bloodline.
I think the only person those kids won't bully is Owen, because it's like, we tried it once and horrible shit happened to us in our dreams.
We tried it once, and it just got really awkward, and we felt bad, and we had to go get our ice cream, and it was.
and then
They
it
bought
cuts
her
to,
waffles.
it cuts to Owen laughing sinisterly as she runs away, just like, ha ha, there's nothing you can do to me. I have the perfect defense mechanism. Thanks to the ice cream.
The perfect defense mechanism. I'm so sad.
That's
It's
my
like-
secret.
it's like
I'm
I-
always sad.
It's like I don't even want to bully her anymore. I just feel bad.
The sad thing is, she probably does get bullied a lot.
I don't know. I think the bullying would have petered off once you met Jason.
Yeah,
Maybe.
From the
They
boys,
probably-
there's probably a lot of girls that pick on her.
Yeah, there's probably
That's
a
true.
lot of girls that pick on her.
That's true. This being the
She's-
80s,
she's-
Jason.
and you can't protect her in her class too.
Yeah, like she absolutely her mom, her mom and her are decently well off, but she doesn't dress well. I mean, you've seen the picture of her. She's very dirty all the time.
She hangs out in Jason's garden. Of course she's dirty.
Look,
Yeah,
Pigpen's
like that's-
branching out from the streets. Okay.
So she, especially with how like fashion focused the '80s became, that's definitely
Oh yes, you filthy
like she
dirty
gets made fun
child.
of for that. Yeah, it's like, oh look, Owen's wearing the latest from the trash heap again.
She went to Kmart. Ew.
If there's 13-year-olds picking on an 11-year-old, Hayden will punch the shit out of them.
Wow, you can't
You-
hit girls, even if you are a girl.
You're a tomboy. That makes you like a boy, so you can't punch girls.
She'll put on the prettiest dress ever while she takes that hockey stick to him.
Oh my god, when the tomboy shows up in the pretty dress and she's hotter than the popular girls.
Uh-huh.
Only in the 80s.
Only in the 80s does that happen. Actually,
What
totally
happened?
not
If
true.
she took her glasses off and put on a different color outfit.
You got that. She's all thatted.
Oh no.
Hayden will just show up, a single braid in her hair, like a flower off to the side, in a sundress, and be like, okay, whose ass do I need to kick now?
Oh, poor beaten children.
No, I'm just imagining this little school dance and some boy picking on Olwen, and then you just very pretty dress, nice done up hair, very, very like girly looking. Hey, just dragging this kid by his hair along the floor.
I don't think all women would go to a school dance.
It'll be wallflowers. It'll be great.
It's like, it's not a dance, it's the Halloween party that we hold in the gymnasium, because that's always a thing.
That's even better at the school. Your Halloween costume is you're dressed up like a pretty girl. It's the fakest thing I could think of.
Oh,
Wow.
fucking savage.
That is a tad aggressive. Alrighty. I'm gonna step away and refill my drink. So I'll be right back.
It's Mean
Okay.
Girls level of savage. It's beautiful.
It
Pretty
is
good.
something Nora would want to put her in, though.
Pretty.
Probably.
It's like, why don't you look like really nice for the kids at the school? And it's just.
It's like, look, if I'm going to try and raise $2, I'm going to try and make one pretty.
Double.
Oh,
wow.
snap.
What? There has to be an excuse for why she's trying to pretty Hayden and not her punk rock daughter. Reason.
And now he's Naruto.
Ah!
He's got his little leaf headband and everything. Believe it.
Just awful.
Okay, is everybody back, or is she still gone?
I don't know who Shay is.
Hello.
Okay, so it sounds like she's still
Oh my god, what has happened to the robot? He's been fully scribbled.
morph doodled on his head.
Look, I gave him the Naruto headband, okay?
What? No, that wasn't me. You can't prove anything.
It's the same color.
Shit.
He's been had.
They have been found out. Oh no, he does have a Naruto. That's not a thing yet. So everyone in chat, we are taking a small break. So of course, this will be time for a little bit of extra shilling. Of course, we have the Humble Bundle monthly. If you haven't signed up, it's $12 every month to get access to a load of good games. The early reveals for this month have been Hollow Knight, Hitman, the first complete season, and 7 Days to Die. While I've never been a fan of Hitman, Hollow Knight and 7 Days to Die are both solid choices, so it's a good lineup for the November months. Ah, and she's back. Okay, and then lastly, there is also the Build Your Own Tiny Build bundle that's on sale. There's a number of games that you can get. Guts and Glory Party Hard, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Party Hard is pretty awesome. Mr. Shifty, Final Station, which I'll probably play this month as well because it's nice and spooky, and Cluster Truck. If you buy 3 or more of these games, you get a 75% discount, and the more you buy, the higher that discount goes, so it is something that's always worth looking into. Also, of course, there's also the Discord that you guys can check out, and whenever you want to stay up to date on what's going on, follow our Twitter page at PartyWipeGames. And so, we are back, which leaves the camera moving away from the Muller house over to the Buxley house. William, when you have a girl over, where do you take her? It's pretty unusual for you to even have a girl over, although Ashley seems to be that girl that you always have around.
Probably to like the garage that he has as his little like quote unquote workstation where he can, tinker around with electronics and things.
Mm-hmm. And how does this garage
This is
look?
where he keeps all the toys.
Where's this garage? What does this garage layer look like?
Just picture like a really, like older garage looking, but there's like posters of science stuff and, like little sci-fi robot movie posters all over the walls. And at least one work table just covered in the pieces of that computer that he had taken apart because he's been trying to reverse engineer it and put it back together.
All right.
I could totally rock that Robotica outfit.
He probably has like a small pile of things like some more speakers that he's working on for Ashley and all kinds of stuff for everyone else.
Excellent. And so what are we working on today?
I kind of had this idea that I'd sort of ask that I've been kind of working with them to make a music player. I don't want to say like boombox. I don't remember what or know what was available then.
Like a portable, like a Walkman.
Yeah, something small that can play music.
Try and get a early compact disc player.
Something like
You definitely will try to work on a Walkman for us since cassettes were pretty big by then.
Or do you try to push the superior format that is 8-track?
Actually, he's probably already made her a Walkman. Like, I'm trying to shrink a laser disc down for that. You know how much music you could put on those things?
I know, right?
You could put multiple albums. That'd be so cool.
you can fit a solid megabyte on here.
I mean, I'm talking megabyte. It's like, way more than a kilobyte. He's not gonna go into all the big jargon with everybody.
Revolutionary, dude. Let's do it. And I'll have them however I can.
He's just, playing around with what the computer has. He's got some, like, electric testers all hooked up to make sure he's not shorting anything out. And he's just kind of tinkering with stuff, like wires touching each other to see if he can get the little sound player to kick on for the little laser disc thing he has on the table where a record would have. It looks like it should be a record player.
Well, Mr. Buxley Jr., you know what I'm going to need you to make for me? A Tinker Tech roll.
Should I roll my own tinker if I'm helping, or?
No, but you can assist, which would
I
give him
will.
the extra die.
Roll your extra die.
Yeah, roll your extra die to see if you get the success too. Nope.
Oh,
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, so you're able to kind of cobble together like a very... Do they have Walkmans in the late 80s?
Yeah, they did. There's a little cassette player.
Okay.
I wouldn't call them little.
Okay, it was like
Oh, 'cause
a second
they
player.
were
It
like
was
the
a
cell
brick.
phones of the 80s.
You could kill someone with it if you.
I'm just trying to pull up a visual for myself. Yeah, so they were like the big ones that you'd put on your hips. Okay. Yeah. You're able to jury rig together this portable cassette player for her, and it's not by any means a Walkman. It is basically like the shoebox cassette players, the like the big blocky one that has you push down, the lid opens up and you slide the cassette in there, and then it has the handle and the buttons on it that you would push for play and the rewind, and you could record. But that it's how all the crappy teenagers in the 80s made their mixtapes by holding it up next to the speakers of the radio and getting the songs there.
I'd like the sound of that, because I'd imagine then that he'd probably be doing it to be like, now it's got the radio and the cassette player built in, so when the radio's on, you just hit record on your cassette.
Yep.
Congrats, you have a
Naruto,
plus one cassette tape. Cassette player.
Yeah. So yeah. So Ashley can add onto her inventory a cassette player, and so you have a cassette player with a cassette in it. It's technically blank right now because you haven't recorded any music or anything on it. I'll add a visual for you here.
Peter's
Awesome.
cassette tape player from Guardians, basically.
Not quite, but close. So cassette.
It's just funny because that
But
one
that
wasn't
is
big.
Yeah, it's like that one was a little compact.
Yeah, it was compact, but like it's that general style.
Mm-hmm. But this is what it looks like here once it uploads.
Yeah, because I imagine he did it more for just so, something like that. But it's got like, they got the batteries and everything, and he did so she didn't have to go and buy one. He's like, well, I just make you one. You don't have to get one.
Yeah. And you probably have just a drawer full of batteries.
Gnarly, dude. Love you.
Ooh.
No problem.
You hear his voice deepen a little bit. It's like, that's no problem. Yeah. What? Nothing.
no problem.
Oh no, Buxley's discovered girls.
I'm losing my nerd powers.
I can't become a wizard at this rate. No.
Ren stole my joke.
Aha, beat you to it.
Yeah.
After he hands Ashley that, she'll probably see that there's like a paper sitting on the table next to it that, you know, he wasn't writing on while making that for her.
Oh no. What does it say on the paper?
It's been him, like, you know, taking notes about everything that's been going on since he got home from school. So he's like writing down, like, kids missing, so many are not here, wish I could ask mom and dad about things.
Mom and dad are never home.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you guys are the ones who suffer from that.
My sisters suck.
They're all out being older sisters.
Oh no, what did I name your sisters? Oh no!
Oh no!
William!
Hmm.
What did... Do you remember what your sisters are named? It dawns on you suddenly that you haven't seen Rebecca in 2 days.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
As you're going over this, it's like, Mom and Dad aren't home, I can't ask them, my sisters suck, and stupid Becky being Becky's short for Rebecca. Oh no. Yes. William, you have not seen your sister in some time.
Apparently your sister has a thing for nerds.
I mean, have you seen his family?
Fair.
So, William, how do you handle this information? What do you do once it dawns on you that this missing Becky might be Rebecca?
Dude, half a second ago you were like all red, now you're all white.
Yep, the color drains from his face.
Well, you know how Becky is one of the people missing. You know, my sister's name is Rebecca. It's longhand for Becky.
No. No.
And I haven't seen her in a while. I've seen Susan, but not her.
No.
Oh, yes.
You don't. Oh.
Because of course Mom and Dad wouldn't have said anything because I never get to see them. They're always like gone most of the time, and I doubt they even notice she's gone if that's her.
Leash. Probably. Sorry, my voice went completely silent.
We heard that. You lost it. You good?
We should probably go check the lake. That's where.
Yeah, see if there's anything. Maybe she dropped something there.
Meanwhile, at the lake.
Meanwhile,
Blah 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 blah.
The villain was Becky all along.
Yes. Meanwhile, at the lake, Hayden, you got an early lead on everybody else. You basically.
I thought we were convening.
Jason said to convene at the treehouse, but apparently Hayden went to the lake.
Hayden went to the lake. Hayden, you've arrived at the lake.
Yep.
You can see that there is like a section of, or basically the entire area has been cordoned off with like the police tape, do not cross. And it looks like up on a hill a ways away is a squad car that's parked. But it doesn't look like there's anybody inside of it. The lake itself looks vacant, and there's nobody around in the area because a lot of people were respecting this don't go into the area rule. So what do you want to do as you're looking around?
Well, I'm looking for anything out of place. Like Owen mentioned the kids and at least the boy in the water, I think.
Yeah, she's... Because
So-
I don't think the dream ever referenced what became of the girl.
Nope. All you saw was the boy.
So she's probably going to take a careful look around, because you said there's a squad car, but there's no one in it, so she's gonna keep an eye out for anyone who might be patrolling, and see if she can sneak past the tape.
Sure. Give me that sneak roll first.
Sure thing.
Oh,
Nope.
no. Okay. Are you going to attempt to re-roll?
I'll burn a luck point for this. Why not? 2 successes.
Okay. Do you want a bonus effect?
Yes, I will take the you find something unexpected or more of what you were looking for.
All right. So, Hayden, you're an outdoorsy type, so you know your way around this lake and this forest like the back of your hand. You're able to get under the police tape and, excuse me, follow a trail that will get you basically closer to the lake without putting yourself out in the open where this squad car or if a police officer is on foot patrolling will notice. And as you're moving about, you start to notice signs of what may or may not, what may have happened here. There's a torn up Conan the Barbarian blanket, and it looks like there's like a little flag that's been stuck into the dirt beside it, kind of like marking this evidence area. And there's tracks in the mud leading from the lake into the forest itself. Nearby where you are, while you were like hiding and trying to skulk closer, it looks like there are 2 sets of footprints. One that look like Converse, like the imprint you recognize, like one of the prints has like the logo for Converse smushed into it, and then the second set looks like, it doesn't look like shoes. It looks like feet indents, but it's all wrong. It looks skeletal, maybe.
I'm gonna no comprehend.
Yeah. You have no idea what this other set of tracks looks like. It looks human in shape because you know what a foot in dirt looks like. That doesn't need a roll, but there's something extra that's being added to this indent that doesn't quite match, and you don't know what it is on your own. But it leads off into the forest proper, and before long the Converse shoes disappear, and it looks more like scuff and drag marks more than actual walking, while the second pair of this unusual footprints stay. And as you're looking, you see like the broken branches and stuff, and it looks like the police didn't notice this trail. It looks like it's something new that you found on your own, because it doesn't have one of the evidence marks.
Like Hayden would follow that, but first Hayden's going to take just like a bandana out of her backpack, tie it around a stick, and just plant it next to the trail to make it look like an evidence marker. So maybe the dumb adults will notice it later.
And then the sirens go off.
Oh, shit!
and then you're shot.
Oh,
Sorry.
Whoa! Whoa!
Hayden, you're dead. I'm sorry.
No, so she's shot, but she's okay. She's just injured. Plot armor.
Oh right, you're a capital K. They wing you.
I get a cool robot leg.
Yeah, get you a cool robot.
We don't take kindly to capture the flag around these parts, young lady.
You're disrupting evidence. Now you are the evidence.
But yeah, I'm gonna
anyways.
put down a false flag just so they could maybe identify it later and then follow the trail.
Okay. And who's they?
Whoever was put. It's like Hayden's smart enough to know not to disturb the markers that were there before or any of the other stuff. So this way, it's just like, they didn't notice this. Well, they can have this later.
Hmm.
Any adults going back to the scene to inspect it later.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure if her friends stop by, they'll be able to recognize her bandana.
How much faith you put in your friends?
A lot. A lot. I'm very
I'm so
optimistic.
sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, how far behind are we?
A while. There was enough time for tea and gardening and casual flirting while building a cassette player. So
He had to hand make a cassette
yeah,
player,
like
that's
you guys are behind. You're not gonna show up in like 10 minutes. you guys probably spent a half hour to an hour goofing off with your various things.
That's probably how long it
And-
took me to get to the lake.
And I say goofing off lightly because Jason needed to recenter himself, or he would just punch things forever.
Uh-huh. That would have been a thing. That
So,
would have been bad for everyone.
Hayden, do you follow this trail deeper inside?
She would do so very carefully, yes.
Oh yeah, sure. Don't go get your friends.
All right, Hayden, give me another sneak roll.
Give you another sneak roll.
Woohoo! Good with that?
If you're going alone, I wouldn't be.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm gonna save my
Well,
one luck point for later.
Awesome.
Shay, don't play my character for me, please.
All right, so Hayden, as you travel deeper into this forest, following the tracks, or at least in the general direction that you think it's going, it's not long before the heavy, the dense foliage of the trees, because this is the 80s, of course, and an alternate 80s where we don't have to worry about things like global cooling and forests being deforested in mass quantities. So a lot of the Northeast still has vast forests, and before long the sun is blocked out, and it's got a sort of fantastic gloom about the area. And you're sneaking as best as you think you can. And before long, you notice that up ahead, there are a pair of kids who are blocking the path. The Vulcan Skull theme does not play, because this is not Sam and Max the Bullies. These are just two tall, high school looking kids, but they're wearing a fox and a rabbit mask over their faces. And they're just staring at you and holding hands.
That's not creepy at all.
Really? Because I think it's immensely creepy.
Yeah,
Hayden
Jason
starts-
agrees. Jason
Hayden
wonders why
starts
the
to-
hell you didn't meet up with the rest
Can
of
you
us.
guys shut up and let me have my scene? Hayden starts to backpedal a little bit, seeing this, and seeing that
As
they
you-
are staring directly at her.
As you start to back up, you see them start to slowly walk towards you. And they're moving at the same pace because you're just backing up. You haven't turned to run just yet. But they're walking towards you, and they haven't said anything. They're just watching with the mass. And they're starting to speed up now. They're gaining. But it's still just that walk. Where
Okay, real funny. I'm gonna go home now. Bye. Turn and sprint.
Okay, give me a move body.
You like to move it. Move
Awesome. Okay.
I like to move it, move it.
She likes to move it, move it. Hold on. Let me put this on here. What do you do? What do you do to get away from these kids? You're. Is this working?
She basically taps into her,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Fucked up.
her
Go ahead.
entire life of athletics, and just playing anything she could outdoors, her ice skating or football, soccer, and just bolts. She stays low because the tall grass around could probably obscure her enough, and maybe even tosses like a hockey puck, just like a street puck behind her for them to trip on.
You just throwing anything you have while just
At least one puck.
dodging and weaving. Okay, and so you're running. You don't want to stick around and see what these creepy kids have in store for you. You've heard about like the hillbillies that live in the deep woods, and you've seen the Friday the 13th and all of the horrible movies that happen around this time of year. And you don't want to really put yourself at risk. Also, you're a girl. You know that you probably shouldn't be, out alone in a dark woods with creepy people, because, the PSAs and the Scruff McGruffs have always warned that you shouldn't be alone. And so you bail, and you're running. And as you're running, you break the tree line back into the lake. And I'm going to need one more sneak, but this is going to be a 2 success because you've basically put caution to the wind, running away from what you've seen here.
Actually, I think she can use her 2 successes to succeed on that.
If she wants.
Can I?
No, you can't bonus effect that. It says, give success to another kid, impress someone. Did you want to impress...
Move body, bonus effect. No one notices you.
No one notices you from the...
I don't know if that would.
It wouldn't apply. It wouldn't apply as you transition to a new area. But no, like, if you wanted to say nobody noticed you while you were doing the running out of the forest, then yes. But as you break the forest and get back into this lake area, you have to remember that there's still a cop who, wasn't in that initial scene where you beat the hasty retreat.
That's fine. Success?
One success. You needed 2.
Right.
Okay, so as you break this tree line, go ahead if you want to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll burn my last luck point and re-roll the last. Is luck just a full re-roll?
It's a full re-roll of all of the dice.
No, lets you re-roll filled dice. Okay.
Yes.
So I will roll.
You still have that success.
So I will
And
roll
a previous success.
4. It's not banked. Okay, it's not banked.
You can bank the move bonuses for something else, like later on, but because this is asking, but you can't bank the no one notices you into the sneak roll, if that makes sense. You can bank it for another move body later. That was my understanding when I read it.
It just seems to be like when you make the thing, you can buy additional effects, but I don't.
Oh, you can absolutely do that too, but the way I read it was you can store those for a similar roll later.
Okay, let me just re-roll these 4 d6s then.
Yeah. And I mean, basically what it does say is you shouldn't need to buy effects to achieve what you set out to do. They are a means of getting more than what you asked for.
It's only a reroll of the failed saves.
Sneak, that gives me 1 die, and a body of 4 that gives me 4.
Yeah.
So I rolled 4 fails.
He took away his 1 success. So he had 5 dice initially.
And unfortunately, I did not roll another 6.
I'm having a severe coughing fit right now. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So yeah, you are sneaky as you come out, and because it's sneaky, but you're not watching where you're going, so the cop doesn't notice you breaking the tree line as you collide into him. And so the two of you collide, and he doesn't fall over, but you bounce off of him because you're a small tomboy. But this is a dark-skinned, mustached man. You can see on his shirt it says Sergeant. I gotta think of a good 80s name.
O'Hallahan.
O'Hallahan.
Yeah.
That's a very black name, thank you.
Wait, I was going for Irish.
I said dark skin.
Okay.
Those black Irishmen. Anyways.
Like a coffee, like I like my Irishman black.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Let's see. 80s cop names. Let's see if there's a Detective Mahoney.
O'Malley.
Hoity-toity. Okay, it's Officer Lee. Yeah, that's a black-sounding name. Emphasis on black. Yeah, that's fine, Shay. To take your time because I know you're not feeling well. So you bounce off Officer Lee, and he kind of looks down at you, and he's like, "Whoa there, where's the fire?" And he like reaches a hand down to pick you up, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be." He's like, "Excuse me."
You didn't hear anything? Okay. I'm sorry.
he just gives you that shit. He gives you the shaft like stare down like, did I? And you're like, sorry, no, you did. And he's like, what are you doing down here? This area's cordoned off. I can see that. Why are you in the forest when this place is supposed to be off limits?
Oh, what? It was supposed to be off limits? I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah.
I'm out here playing with my stuff. And she points to her sports gear.
Yeah, give me a charm roll to see how good that lie is.
No.
You play a lot of wood hockey, kid?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like, out here playing hockey in the woods by yourself. And running.
Obviously, right now I'm not.
And running really fast from something. And he kind of looks past you into the woods, and he says, "What were you running from?"
I don't think you'd believe me if I told you.
he gives you that look again, and he says, "Try me."
Look, there were some weird teenagers in animal masks. They just started walking towards me, so I bolted.
More kids playing pranks, huh? And he says, all right, well, I'm going to let you off with a warning. You go back to your house like you're supposed to, and I'll go deal with these teenagers. And it sounds like he doesn't... It sounds like he heard what you said, skeptical, but he doesn't not believe you. But it's kind of like, oh yeah, teenagers out, picking on kids in the forest. And he's like, I'll get right on that. Sort of like, I don't want to go walking through the woods looking for a bunch of hoodlums type deal. And like you get the sense that like he believes you, but he doesn't want to go deal with it because he's stationed at the lake. And so he's like, all right, well, you get back to where you're supposed to be, and I'll make sure no more riffraff go playing around in the woods.
Yes, officer.
He's like, that's a good kid now. Have a nice day. And he like dusts himself off from where you had impacted on him. And so
Bitchy ass white kids.
damn whiteys. Always causing trouble. Stop it. Get some help. Thank you, Frost.
So yeah, I will
Petitioners.
gladly follow his advice and make my way back to where I will probably meet up with the others.
Yeah, and so
House.
finally, and so as you're making your way back, this is when the rest of you had finally gathered up from doing your various things, and were making your way to the trail that would lead out into the woods.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, Aiden. Jason looks at where you're coming from.
What?
Your house is in the other direction.
I know, I got here before you guys.
I'm sorry we kept you waiting. I said I had something to do.
I know, which is why I didn't want to bother you. You seemed very angry.
Very angry.
Uh-huh.
I'm
What you
trying
look
to
like?
talk, but I cannot because I'm coughing.
Bugsy,
Did you
you look
get
much
any
whiter
tea?
than normal. What's up?
And he kind of hands over the paper to Jason with all the notes he's been taking and be like, well, you remember it's Dean and Becky that are missing?
Yeah.
Well, my sister's name is Rebecca, and I haven't seen her for a couple days now.
Oh.
I figured it was
Ooh.
just her and Susan, out doing their thing, high school girls and all that, but
Does Rebecca own Converse? Do your parents buy Converse sneakers?
he's gonna lift up one of his shoes to look at the bottom to see what's on it.
Do you have a pair of Converse? Are you cool enough to have Converse?
No, but I'm rich enough to wear them.
That's fair. That is that is a fair answer. So, does William Buxley Jr. have Converse, or Chuck
Yes,
Taylor's
yes.
for that matter? I guess you could do either.
He's probably gonna have the Converse on it and be like, well, yeah, he's gonna look at his shoe and be like, Converse, it's what my sisters always wear. They say they're comfortable, so I got one.
Why?
While I was back there, I went past the police tape. There was a trail.
Wait a minute. You went without us?
You're usually the level-headed one.
I know I can get out of things easier than you guys can, so I did some
says
scouting.
the kid who threw a football and I covered for him.
If I could have just bolted out of the classroom, I would have, but that's not one of those situations. Here, I can just run away. And she nods sagely.
I'm sad.
Crossing her arms.
I shake my head disapprovingly.
Yeah, Hayden would get out and nobody would ever see them. Not anybody would catch Hayden if they were running away.
I looked at it all and was that sarcasm?
No, I'm only 11. I don't know what sarcasm is.
That was
I mean, I didn't get
5. Never mind.
caught until I ran head
Wait a
first
minute.
into the police officer.
Wait. You said you didn't get caught. Stop. You said you didn't get caught. Who was chasing you?
So, like I said, there was this trail, and one of them was Converse sneakers, and then there was a second set of footprints, but they weren't footprints. They were really weird. Like, it was feet, but it was missing or adding something. I don't know. I didn't get it. So I followed it, and then the Converse tracks slowly started to turn into drags and broken branches. And so I followed that trail, and I got to this area where there were just like these other older kids, just bigger than me, standing there, holding hands. They had animal masks on, a rabbit and a fox, and they were just staring like creeps.
Well, did the
So I
fox say anything?
Were they both boys?
Do I know? Can I properly gender the masked people that were staring at me?
Not now.
my
I
poor
don't
Joe.
know. Like they didn't say anything. They just kind of stared at me. I started taking steps backwards, and then they started walking towards me. So I bolted the moment I thought that it was gonna get any worse, and I'm pretty sure I lost them. But then I ran headfirst into a cop.
Should we
I
tell the
take
cop
back
about
what I
Becky?
said.
That's what I said.
It's like, what? The cop didn't catch me. I let him catch me.
Which is
Yeah.
how you ran into him.
Yeah.
I didn't get caught. I collided.
Exactly. It's like,
You know, if we had been with you, we might have been able to take those two creeps. Jason says, crossing his arms.
That's
well,
also
we
very,
can still
very
do
dangerous.
that. Like, look, this is what's called reconnaissance. Yes, that.
You need to study more in English.
I study enough, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
That shade.
Which is
Well, it's because he's probably helping her with it.
which is exactly which is why you told your sister that Romans existed in the Battle of Thermopylae.
I said nothing of
Ooh.
the sort.
Well, someone told her that because I definitely didn't tell her that when I was helping her study.
We don't exclusively study together.
Oh no. You're not exclusive study
have-
buddies.
You have other study buddies?
Oh no.
I meant me and Ash.
William's taking him back, just like, oh.
Oh no.
Don't worry, BJ, you're always my study buddy.
Normally locks herself in her room. I don't know what she does in there.
Oh no. The implications. Let's talk about that.
Look, the
Not
point
good
is, I got information. There were people and tracks. And if your sister wears Converse, then she might have been dragged away. There was a really torn up blanket over there, so I don't know what happened to that.
What kind of blanket was it?
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, it looks
Wait.
very uncomfortable.
Wait, Conan the... I need to... What would I roll to see if I remember if Dean had one of those?
There should be a... I guess there isn't like a... They need like a memory roll.
Comprehend is the ability to have the right piece of information or be able to find it at the library or some other location.
I'll allow it. Yeah, Dean was very, very freaking proud of his Conan the Barbarian blanket. He brought it to a sleepover one time.
But they were just... Damn it, Dean. Or dang it, Dean.
Dang it,
You-
Dean.
You violated the bro code. The bro code.
There's always one friend that has the hots for your sister.
So Dean had... So I know Dean had a Conan the Barbarian thing, and my sister does wear Converse. And her name is Becky for short. And you said
So
there were
what I'm-
second footprints, but they didn't look like feet? What did they look like?
Like I said, they looked like feet, but with things taken away, but also with things added.
So
So
I'm
what are we
hearing
doing?
is
Are we gonna...
make a rescue mission.
Are we gonna go to the police about this?
I think Hayden ran into a cop, and from what Hayden tells us is he's not going to be doing much.
I told him about the teens, but he just thinks I was getting a prank played on me or something. Like, he's not... I don't know.
But he doesn't know. But he doesn't know about Becky.
I think that
I think all the police know about the missing kid.
Yeah, but do they know that it might be my sister?
yes.
That
If there's one thing I know about police is they know everything and they love keeping it close to their chest.
Well, they did miss the tracks.
So what are we doing now?
I think we need to plan a rescue op.
A rescue op? What is this, the A-Team?
No, we're the B team.
The B team, whenever you don't want something to succeed really well, but at least adequately enough to not be disappointed.
We
How
can't
dare
get a
you?
Mr. We can't get a Mr. T, so we're the B team.
How dare you? We're at least B pluses.
I'd hope so, as much as I help all you guys out.
Dang,
I don't
have all A's and B's.
I don't have letter grades yet.
I just get smiley faces.
Oh, I miss those days.
I
You know,
just
like
get
last
checks.
year.
I get check pluses.
That's so cute.
Holy
I
crap.
reach down and just pat Olin on the head. And then I pat the cat on the head.
Oh, I imagine the cat's gone at this point.
The cat has wandered back, and it's got like a dead squirrel in its mouth.
Oh no.
I idly look at that cat and try and piece together how fat it's becoming because Olin feeds him and he hunts actively.
Well, it's the act of hunting that keeps him skinny.
It's true.
William's gonna take his pocket calculator out and start looking at like percentages and be like, okay, so we have to figure out if we'd even be able to find anybody, let alone because we don't know where they are. What if those creepy kids are still there? That's gonna mess up all the numbers.
The creepiest kids are still there. I can handle them. I mean, I handled
Oh,
Meathead and Loudmouth. I can handle some creepy people in a mask. Like, what are they gonna
Right.
do? Walk at me?
Two bigger, creepy people.
So, what are they gonna do? Walk at me? I look over at Hayden.
Hey, you're better at fighting, I'm better at running.
You're lucky you're underage, man. That cop would have totally arrested you.
it's true.
Seriously though, what are we doing?
Especially if it's Officer Lee. I heard that guy's a jerk.
It was Officer Lee.
Oh, dang it.
Well, I could show you guys where the path goes, but we'd have to cut around the area where I bumped into the officer. Because I kind of told him I'd go back.
We know these woods pretty good. Do you think you can make your way there?
Probably.
Sorry, everyone, my voice is going.
It's fine.
It's okay.
We know. We are getting. Well, we're at a 3-hour mark. Do we want to wrap up here? Because
Yeah, that sounds
you guys have a plan to go into the woods and start looking around. So
We've got a place where we're going.
We
We've
have
got
a
a
mission.
rescue op to play in.
okay, that sounds good. 3 hours is fine then, especially with Shay's throat going out. I really don't want you to push it too much.
Yeah, no, that sounded painful every time you opened your mouth.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, hey guys, thanks for watching. We're going to wrap up here. Be sure to check back in next week, same time, 5:30, 8:30 Pacific and Eastern, because that is when you can catch the remaining 3 episodes for Forest for the Trees. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the recording here. So, everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Hey.
Close.
All right.
So it doesn't hurt so much as that it's just not there.
Yeah. I mean, you probably just need to give it some more rest. Are you drinking, like, tea with ginger in it at all?
Sepicals. Buy Sepicals. They will save your life.
I've been taking Supercools and Ricolas and taking the medicine constantly. And
You have honey of any kind you can eat, like a spoonful of every now and then.
I've been
It
doing
does
that.
work.
I've been doing everything.
Yeah,
That
like honey
is
is really
street
good
ball?
for it. Hold on. Bye.